I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Get some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Get some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm not muted. Echo, what the frick, dude? Do you want to in or out? You got to pick. You can't keep coming in and out. Now you're going out again. You coming in or out? You coming in? Come in. You got to stay in here. Jeez. In and out, in and out. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. What? Now you're trying to get out again. What are you doing? What? What do you want? Butthead. Not muted. Got him. Guys, it's Monday night. We're kicking the week off right. Welcome to the Dreaded Conservative Show. What do we got tonight? Trump. Did he meet with Zelensky today? I haven't seen it. I just woke up. What's going on with this week? Trump met Putin in Alaska, and he met Zelensky today. Allegedly. We'll see what happened. I haven't looked it up yet. Or did he kick Zelensky out again? Does Zelensky wear a suit this time? Trump, Zelensky, European leaders stay late at White House. Ukraine talks, live updates. All right, we'll have to look into this once we get to Zelensky. We got to talk about Putin first. He met with Putin. What else we got? And then all the DC stuff. We touched on it last week. Big balls got jumped. And now it's been going on for more than a week now. National Guard in DC. They're cleaning up DC. No more hobos. No more criminals. Get them out. They gotta go. And then Hurricane Erin was a Category 5. Now it's down to a Category 3. And they're saying that it could destroy the entire East Coast. We'll see. We'll look into Hurricane Erin. Track its progress. Progress? That's not a good word for a hurricane, huh? Track its progress like it's a progressive. They are like hurricanes. What do you want? If I let you out, you're going to try to come back in 5 seconds. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going out there. Oh, you know what? Damn it. His freaking water bowl might be empty. That might be why he keeps bothering me. I'll check it once I play a video or something. Anyway, and then I don't have any last segment stuff planned, so we'll just figure something out. But we got a lot of rapid fire news to go over. Lots of crazy little stories in rapid fire. But for now, what do I have first? Do I have this out of order? Oh, I guess we're doing DC stuff first. I guess that is the older story. So we're gonna start with the DC cleanup. How's everybody doing tonight? Vibe on YouTube. Looking for a project I'm doing. How can I contact you? Is it the Bible stream you guys were doing? I saw you were doing it last night. I watched some of it. Is that what it is? Because the problem is I work Sunday night through Thursday night from 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. And I could call into shows and stuff, but my headphones suck and it sounds really bad. So I usually don't do that when I'm at work. But I couldn't be like a panelist if it's on a night that I'm working. So that's the only problem. That might not work. But anyway, we could talk about it. Just message me. National Guard. 3 more states, South Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia, are pledging troops for DC. This is from Guardian. 3 states have moved to deploy hundreds of members of their National Guard to the nation's capital as part of Trump's administration's effort to overhaul policing in Washington through a federal crackdown. And all the lefties are saying, whoa, seems like he could have deployed the National Guard to J6. Why didn't he do it then? Well, he tried to, and Pelosi stopped it. He had 1 day. You know, this is something he put into effect over a long period of time. He's been in office for 6-7 months now. He had more time to put the plan into effect. And he's got a speaker who's working with him. He didn't have that with J6. It was 1 day. Well, they did know in advance. he asked Pelosi. She said no. She admitted to that. So lefties are not very smart people. So what do you expect? West Virginia said it was deploying 300 to 400 guard troops, while South Carolina pledged 200, and Ohio said it would send 150 in the coming days. The moves announced on Saturday came as protesters pushed back on federal law enforcement and National Guard troops fanning out in the heavily Democratic city following Donald Trump's executive order federalizing local police forces and activating about 800 District of Columbia National Guard members. They're on the streets, boys. They're coming out heavily. And I'm happy. They need to do it in other cities too. Clean up all these Democrat cesspools. But you got to do it in DC first, because that's our nation's capital, man. When you're trying to solve wars, you got people coming to visit your country. Capital can't be looking like mess. The Office of West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey said in a statement that the deployment was a show of commitment to public safety and regional cooperation. DC has the fourth highest violent crime rate in the country. And they're like, yeah, but it's been going down. We're going to look at a story about the last time this happened in, what was it, 1968, I believe. Yeah, 1968. So this isn't the first time this has happened. 1968, in the large scheme of things, isn't even that long ago. But back then, buildings were being burnt down and whatnot. So we'll compare then and now. But I got some videos of, they're cleaning up the homeless encampments. They're cleaning up the hood. I seen videos of them walking through the hood, taking all the hood rats in. Let's see. But homeless encampments is one big thing. Let's watch this. Un momento. Let me see here. We're going to this one. All right. Joseph Olmo. Crews tear down DC homeless encampment after Trump said residents must leave. Residents of a homeless encampment? Are they really residents? Like, I guess they reside there. Yeah. It's just weird saying residents of a homeless encampment. Let's see that. And I talked about this before. We do this in Salt Lake City too. When the encampments get too big, they give them like a day's notice. And then if you don't get the heck out, they come through with a skid steer, with a, oh my gosh, camera. Stop it. They come through with a skid steer and they just bulldoze your residence. And then they get all mad because they're like, oh, they lost all their stuff. They lost their family pictures and their wallets and their medicines, and all the liberals cry, you're destroying their stuff. They get a warning. They warn them. They say 24 hours to vacate. Pack up your tent, put it on your back, and get the heck out. You shouldn't, if you're homeless, you shouldn't have so much stuff that you can't carry it. Just take what you can carry without 18 shopping carts.
We should acknowledge that no matter where you stand on this homelessness issue, this is shaping up to be a pretty difficult week for people who are struggling with housing in our nation's capital. What you're seeing right behind me is a skid steer pulling away personal belongings of this encampment. There are tables in there, there are appliances in there, there is a bed, it looks like there's a gas-powered heater in there. We are just steps away from the Kennedy Center. And, you know, while it isn't out of the ordinary for local DC government officials to clean up certain encampment areas, you know, I think it goes without saying that President Trump has made it clear with his rhetoric lately that he wants to see homelessness across D.C. on federal land or on city land taken care of, going so far to say that people who are homeless should be sent far away from the Capitol. Let me show you guys where we are right now. This is land very close to the Lincoln Memorial. As you can see, right across the street is the...
And I've talked about how in Salt Lake City, we had all the homeless people on one block. We had it concentrated to one block, but it was like an open air drug market. There were illegals. We call them the paisas. There were the paisas and the hondos who would stand on the corner with balloons in their mouth, and they'd spit. We called them spitters too. They're spitters. They'd spit the balloons into your hand. They're all illegal. They would cross the border illegally, and then they'd stay in hotels, pay nightly at a hotel, a bunch of them in a hotel room, and then they'd spit dope all day. And it was an open air drug market. It was a block. The homeless shelter was there. The Wiggins Center, where they feed the homeless people, is like a big cafeteria, like a soup kitchen type thing. I've got some videos on my channel of the Wiggins Center going there for food and whatnot. But why do I keep saying whatnot? I've been listening to somebody who says whatnot a lot. But all of it was on that block. But then the Gateway buys the land around that block and starts building luxury apartments. And you're like, why are they building luxury apartments in this area? Nobody's going to want to move in there. Well, it's part of a plan. They tear down the homeless shelter. They scatter all the homeless people all over the place. And it led to a problem because now there's homeless people everywhere, in every park, in every neighborhood. So instead of having it all concentrated to one block where you can focus your law enforcement on that block, you scatter them and they go everywhere. And people in Salt Lake City are comparing this to that. But I don't think this is the same thing, because this is the capital and they're everywhere already. So you just got to, eventually, what are you going to do? You got to get them out. You got to do something. Lock them up. Lock them up. Or if you're homeless, be smart about it and stop staying in the public eye. Carry what you have on your back. Sleep at night in the cut. You know, go off in the cut. Sleep somewhere. Pack up your stuff in the morning. And then beat feet. Hit the road, Jack. Don't build a freaking encampment with 28 tents in a park outside of the nation's capital. That's retarded. You deserve everything you get. You deserve to lose your residence. Also, when you know they're coming to clear it out, why are you still there? It's your fault that you lost all your stuff.
Institute of Peace. And what you're looking at are the area that about 12 or so tents were this morning.
How long was this giant tent here? This is a big footprint. That's a big footprint for a tent. How long was your tent there? Look at the grass. At least 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks too long.
Many of them have been packed up, and one of the reasons why they're being packed up is because last night at around 10 o'clock at night.
Ooh, that's I think that's a Neo Air. That's a nice sleeping pad, actually.
A lot of these tents were posted.
Look at that, there's another one.
Posted.
Look at the grass around it. Look how long that tent had to be there for grass to grow up that much, and it kills the grass. You got all these big no grass spots. They're killing the grass. Ridiculous.
To these tents, alerting the people who live here, some of them who have lived here for several months, that they have to go. And that everything is going to be cleared at 10 o'clock today. And you can see that is slowly happening.
See, they warn them. This is not some surprise thing where they just show up and bulldoze your tent while you're inside of it. That's not what happens. They get warnings and they ignore them. They think, they're not going to really do it. Oh, we're going to really do it now.
Happening. I will say people have been voluntarily packing up and cleaning, but I want to show you what has been going up on some of the tents at these homeless encampments around the city. So,
told you, they give them notices. With time, date, we're coming through. You need to move. There's a scheduled something cleanup. Yeah. Gives them the date and the time that we're coming. So why is your tent still here? If you don't want to lose it, you shouldn't have had it there by the time that this this notice gets served.
So this is a scheduled encampment cleanup, which includes immediate disposition and the site closure. So,
and I don't have the video, but there's a video of like I'll show you some of the protest footage here shortly. But there's one video of this liberal lady, another dumb white liberal woman is like, we're handing out whistles. We're handing out whistles so that if anybody comes and harasses you in your tent and they're trying to kidnap you and take you somewhere, you blow the whistle. Blow the whistle to let us know that you need help. And then us protesting women can run over there, the old ladies and the young girls with armpit hair, we can run over and we can save you. We can be your savior, homeless people, because we love our homeless. She said that. She said, we love our homeless. Okay, that sounds nice, but what does that mean? You won't when you get raped by a homeless guy at night walking home from work.
the people were warned, not with a lot of time, that they have to pack up their belongings and move. And we have heard both from D.C. government officials and the White House that shelters will be offered, mental health services will be offered, addiction services will be offered. I shot some video a couple moments ago, again, showing people slowly and voluntarily leaving this area. And it's
Arrest all these people. They have stolen shopping carts. These are not their shopping carts. I got a citation once for having a shopping cart. But if you have one of these shopping carts, you didn't build it. You stole it. Where did you get it from? You stole it.
It's a striking scene, you know, to see people packing up their belongings in shopping carts. And we were able to speak to one gentleman, David, who's 67 years old. He's lived at this spot for the past 7 to 8 months. And I just asked him, how do you feel about the president's?
This guy's wearing a tie. There's always like a homeless guy that'll like always be wearing a suit. I'm like, where'd you get that suit? I knew a homeless guy like that. He always was wearing a suit and a tie. But he wore it every single day and night for months. And it was so dirty and nasty. But, you know, he's trying his best to look formal.
Comments, you know, ramping up his rhetoric, targeting folks who are homeless. Here's what he said. Take a listen.
Well, I look at it as anti-Christian.
Anti-Christian? To not let homeless people camp in front of the White House? What's anti-Christian about that? Yeah, we can love the homeless people. We can try to help them, feed and clothe the poor. Doesn't mean you got to let them camp in front of the White House. They probably weren't letting homeless people camp in front of the temple in the Old Testament. They had a place for them. You go over to the city of refuge. You don't get to sleep outside the tabernacle, bruh.
Remember the passage of, as you have done unto the
I bought it from Aldi for 25 cents. The shopping cart.
least of these, you have done unto me. And the idea that,
Well, they're offering you shelters. You don't want to go to the shelters. And I'll be honest, I've said this before. The shelter in Salt Lake City is worse than any jail I've ever been in. Way worse. Like, jail is like nice compared to the shelters. The shelters are, imagine jail, but there's no guards. And it's even more densely packed. Like, at least in jail, you have like a cell. Maybe you got a couple people in your cell. But I've been in jails where they are set up like barrack style, where it's just bunk beds, bunk beds, bunk beds, bunk beds. That's like how the homeless shelter is, except there's no guards at the homeless shelter. I seen a dude get stabbed once in the middle of the night by the guy in the bed next to him. It's this big black crazy guy. And all night he's like talking to himself and he's like rolling over and he's just like yelling at somebody who's not there. And then there was this old guy in the bunk next to him just sleeping. And the black dude just randomly in the middle of the night, at like 3 a.m, gets up, goes over to the old guy and start stabbing him. And I watched it happen, and a bunch of us were awake because a lot of people there don't sleep all night because, you know, they're doing stuff that makes it so you don't sleep. And dude just gets up, rolls out of bed, goes over and starts stabbing the guy while he's sleeping. It was crazy. That's what happens in the homeless shelter. Everybody around you is doing drugs. If you're trying to get off drugs, that's one of the reasons that I used like 3 paychecks from my job, Wendy's, to buy a bunch of camping gear so that I didn't have to stay in the shelter because I was trying to get clean. You can't get clean in the shelter because everyone around you is shooting up and smoking meth and crack. So you basically got to get out of the shelter. But now you don't want to go to one of these encampments. It's simple solution. Carry everything you own on your back. Don't own anything more than what you can carry. And just pack up each night or each morning and leave. Don't sleep in the same spot every night. Change up your location and sleep in the cut where you're out of sight, out of mind. It's not that hard. Go up into the woods. Go to the mountains or something. Live off the land. You can make a campfire. It's not that bad. But don't be in front of the White House.
He's targeting us and persecuting us. Feels wrong to me.
You feel wrong to me.
There are also demonstrators who came out today, like this woman holding a sign saying being unhoused is not a crime. Some people have signs with scripture from the Bible. And I will say, although this encampment only had about a dozen or so tents, the turnout here has been well into the dozens. I mean, dozens of people from local nonprofits, from local church groups coming to assist in.
Yeah, that too, Dean. Bed bugs and lice and stuff are all over the shelters. Dude, there's this one guy that would always have lice, and they'd assign him a bunk if he's on the top bunk, and these are three level bunk beds. So it's 3 layers of bunk beds. He'd be on the top bunk all night. You could just watch him picking lice and throwing them down. So the guys under him are just getting lice rained on them all night.
Any way they can, as folks who are struggling with housing in D.C. slowly pack up. A lot of confusion as to where people are going, but again, we have heard.
Yeah, the bathroom was disgusting in the shelter because it's just a bunch of toilets with little 4-foot walls that go out, but there's rows, so they're across from each other. So you're sitting down to take a dookie, and there's like, you can see all the guys across from you looking at you, and they're all smoking meth and smoking crack and shooting up. So you're trying to take a dump, and you got 3 people watching you take a dump while they're trying to slam. It's crazy. It's worse than any jail I've ever been to.
Heard from the White House.
The only difference is you can leave when you want to. But if you leave at night, you can't come back. So you can't just come and go. During the day, you can come and go freely, but at night, if you leave, you're out. They're horrible places. That's why nobody wants to go to them.
House and from D.C. local government officials that they're not just kicking people out. They say that services, whether it's a shelter or mental health services or addiction services, are being offered to the people who are being told to clear where they live. Guys, back to you.
So, Joseph, a question for you. Somebody like David, did he say that he would take the option of being transported to a shelter, or what has he chosen to do?
David, I believe, left. His tent was right behind this tent right here. But earlier this morning, when they were setting up some of this caution tape here, there were some comments from residents of this encampment, including David, asking the city officials, like, who's going to come here and communicate with us? They weren't getting a lot of answers from those city officials who are just...
That's BS. I guarantee you every one of those people know 5 different places that they can go and get food every day. And they know where the services are. They know where they can get clothes. They know where they can get food stamps and workforce services, sit down at a desk with a person, use computers, find jobs, find assistance, clothes, food. They know all those places. They know where they are. They just don't go to them. That's BS.
Seemingly like frontline employees doing what they're told, putting up the tape. They were just saying, hey, somebody's going to come and talk to you. So I think as much as we hear these answers from the White House that services will be provided, there's still on the ground a lot of confusion. I mean, a lot of these people learn.
No, they're lying to you. They know where the services are. I guarantee you they know where all the services are.
Only a day ago that they were going to have to pick up all of their belongings and go somewhere else. So every situation seems to be a little bit different here. And of course, all of this comes at a time where even though DC...
Go to any of the soup kitchens or any of the churches that feed the homeless people during mealtime and look at how long the line is. And then tell me they don't know where it is. Shut up. They know where the places are that they can go get help.
Local government officials have worked at encampments before. This is coming at a time, as you know, that the president has made some pretty harsh comments surrounding the homeless population in D.C.
I don't think his comments have been harsh enough. National Guard says members patrolling D.C. may be armed. They should be armed. What is this from? NPR. D.C. National Guard members patrolling Washington as part of the Trump administration's plan to ramp up policing may soon be carrying weapons, a Guard spokesperson said on Sunday. The Army had said last week that Guard members would not be carrying weapons and would not be making arrests, but on Sunday, Army Senior Master Sergeant Craig Clapper told NPR in a statement that Guard members may be armed, consistent with their mission and training. Their presence is focused on supporting civil authorities and ensuring the safety of the community they serve. The D.C. National Guard remains committed to assisting the District of Columbia and serving its residents and visitors whenever called upon. So it's too easy to tell, but they're saying crime rates are already dropping in D.C. No duh. Let's watch this from CBS. So this is protests going on. Of course, all these dummies protesting. But you know, in secret, they're like, man, I hate all the homeless people that are out here. Every time I'm walking to work, there's all these crazy homeless people taking a dump on the road or shooting up in the street. But, you know, they got to make their voices heard. The people united can never be divided. What up, cat?
Some residents in D.C. are protesting the increased law enforcement patrolling the streets. The White House says the National
Why you got your Starbucks in your hand? Shut up, dude.
Guard and other federal officers will be on duty around the clock. CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen has been following the latest for us and joins us now. Jake, we're starting to see some unrest there. What can you tell us about the immediate impact on the city?
This guy has no energy. Low T energy.
The response so far, have we seen crime going down in just the last couple of days?
Well, it's certainly too early to tell on that front, Vlad, because you need to look at really what the effect of this full 30-day, potentially more than that, federal takeover of the city and its law.
Wild men, like guys living in the mountains. See, those ones are based. Like the homeless people who just like live off in the woods somewhere and have a camp out there. Those guys are based. They're like, those are the real anarchists. I don't want to hear nothing from an anarchist living in a house paying rent. You paying rent, you paying taxes, you taking part in all the systems. Don't talk about being an anarchist. I know an anarchist. He lives in a tent in the woods and he hunts wild deer and he sells deer meat on the road. That guy is the real anarchist. And that's kind of base. Like, that would be an exciting life to live. What's the movie where the guy lives in the woods with all his kids and they totally live off the land except books, and they go into town like once every couple months just to get books, and his kids are like little and he's teaching them. They're reading, I think in the movie they were reading Marx, and it's like a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old. And they're all reading Marx. Of course they're reading Marx.
Law enforcement really does, and whether they are addressing the root
Das
causes of crime in the
Kapital.
city, going to the neighborhoods that actually have a lot of the daily, whether it's violent crime or drug crime throughout the city. What you just saw there in that protest was up the street from us in a historically very popular neighborhood for people to go out late at night on a Thursday and Friday. Those checkpoints are routine, but they are routine for the Metropolitan Police Department here to be operating, not for federal law enforcement like ICE and the FBI to be conducting these kind of traffic stops, which the Trump administration touted this morning were mostly actually resulting in immigration arrests.
What was that movie called? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's a good movie. And one of his kids gets sick, so he has to go. They go into the town, and the kid needs treatment, so they end up getting housing and stuff, and they move into a house, but they're all going crazy living in the house, and they can't handle living in a house, having a job, going to school. But the little girl needs, he don't want his little girl to die, so he's got to live in the city so she can be in and out of the hospital. And what was that movie? How would I search this? Guy who lives in woods with his kids. Movie about guy who lives in the woods with his kids. Captain Fantastic. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Captain Fantastic. This is a good movie. Let's watch the trailer. Stretching out my arm like Mr. Fantastic.
Maybe unique in all of human existence.
All the way to the top.
We created a paradise.
What we're doing out here is so incredible. Our kids are amazing.
His wife
Needs to be in the
dies.
hospital right now.
Oh no, his mom needs to be in the hospital. I think the mom dies at the beginning of the movie, though.
How's she doing? We're a family.
It's a sad movie, by the way. It's the mom who's dying, so they have to go live in the city.
This is your fault.
Leslie had a disease.
Wherever you are, stay there. You show up, I will have you arrested.
We can't go to Mommy's funeral. We have to do what we're told.
We want to see Mom. Grandpa can't oppress us.
Some say love.
Right now, this is your first real test. Remember your training.
They have hot dogs.
What's cola?
Poison water.
Poison water. What's cola? Poison water. But he's raising little dang Marxists.
Well, I'm so happy that our family is together. It's all local and organic.
How did you kill those chickens? With an axe or a knife?
There's a rotisserie chicken, so you buy it on, it's already dead.
The kids need structure.
It just comes from the store that way. We don't kill the chickens. They just grow that way in the store. Duh.
They need to go to a real school.
I sincerely hope you haven't been doing what I think you've been doing.
Your daughter has taught me many things just now. Will you be my wife? Broke my heart.
He got some booty.
Alyssa.
That's base, though. He got some booty from a young lady, and he said, marry me. He should have done it the other way around, but...
Comes out of a book. I don't know anything. Swore I'm never.
Unless it comes out of a book, I don't know anything. Because that's all they would do is hunt animals and read in the woods.
Even if they make it through whatever it is you're doing to them, they're going to be totally unprepared for the real world.
And I happen to think the opposite is true.
It's child abuse.
That almost hit me.
If I wanted to hit you, I would have hit you.
Hello, Grandpa.
Abby and I have decided that we're going to file for custody of the children.
Viggo Mortensen. This is Captain Fantastic. This is how you do homelessness. You go out and you live in the freaking woods.
Will they take us away from you?
That's a possibility. Our children shall be philosopher kings. Makes me so indescribably happy.
All his kids are like smarter than all the other kids. But they don't know what soda is. It's crazy. Captain Fantastic. Anyway, I wasn't planning on showing that, but I just popped into my head. It's a good movie. You should watch it. Looks like a Lifetime movie. Lower Class Ghetto Raid. Thank you, Lower Class. What's up? Oh, that's Lower Class. I hate how YouTube is messing with the names, man. Why is CSAL a robot? CSAL H7K? What are you, a droid? Anyway, back to what we were talking about, the protests going on in D.C. right now. Looks like an amazing father figure. He is, but he is also teaching them to be little socialists. Like, there's a lot of, that's where I got the line, hospitals are where healthy people go to die. I got it from that movie. I don't know who said it first. Somebody probably said it first, but he says it in that movie. They're like, how, why is mom in the hospital? Or something. They asked him something about a hospital, and he said, hospitals are where healthy people go to die. And there's definitely a lot of socialist messaging in that movie, anarcho-social, anarcho-commie messaging, but it's still a pretty good movie. Just watched your homeless tips video. I'm going to be homeless in 2 days. Do you have any tips? That's what we're talking about right now. Only own what you can carry on your back. Be a lone wolf. Don't hang out in the crowds. Don't go to the encampments. Don't go to the shelters unless you want to be a drug addict. Stay off in the cut. Own what you can carry on your back. Set up your tent in the cut, out of sight, out of mind. Stay out of areas where you're in view of everybody. Open up your tent, sleep, pack it up in the morning, put it on your back, and then go. You can go to the library and you can use the computers. You can find a job. You can get a prepaid credit card from a gas station. You can, yeah, there's a lot. There's services. You're going to want to be near a city because there's going to be more services and stuff that can help you find a job and all that stuff. Don't lose your ID. I don't do anything like that. I don't drink either. I have a tent and stuff. Cool. That's all you need. Yeah. Just, you can get yourself a little Planet Fitness membership for $10 a month. If you're not homeless now, that means you probably already have a bank account. You probably already have identification, social security card, birth certificate. Don't lose that stuff. And then you can you go hang out at the library during the day, get yourself a little $10 gym membership. You can run ads to do handyman work for people, and you just put in the ad. Like, we have a thing called Lindsay's List out here where you can sign up to do handyman work, and you just put in it, I don't have equipment, so you have to provide me the equipment, and I'll mow your lawn. I'll leaf blow your thing. I did snow blowing, lawn work, picking weeds, stuff like that. Make you a little money. Put it in the bank. If you don't have a bank account, you get a prepaid credit card from the gas station, and you use that as a bank account. And yeah, you can use if you got a phone, you can use the Wi-Fi on your phone. You can find a job, and yeah, it ain't that bad. I live in the UK. Last time somebody asked me this question, they lived in the UK too. I don't know. I can't give you as much advice about the UK because I've never been over there. I don't even know how their measuring system works. But yeah, just don't get down. Look at it as an adventure. You get to live outside for a while, you know? Don't get too down, don't get too depressed. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You're going to have no bills. You're going to be able to save more money. You're not going to have any real responsibilities. Enjoy it. It's like a vacation. It's an adventure.
Which again fits with the president's agenda, but does not necessarily actually combat this real tackling of violent crime throughout the city. You can see there the FBI touted 45 arrests yesterday. There were 43.
So this is more because I don't just want to talk about the homeless crackdown. They're also cracking down on crime. I didn't get a video of it, but they're like, the National Guard is like patrolling the hoods. And if there's any like hood rats on the corner slanging dope, or there's so many videos now of dudes, pants sagging. I'm not going to say, it's any specific race or anything, but it does seem to be that they're in certain areas where certain people look a certain way and dress a certain way and talk a certain way. And they're locking them up.
3 arrests the day before. But again, these are for a number of crimes throughout the city.
Yeah, and I was sort of being facetious when I mentioned whether crime was down in the last couple of days.
Assault on a federal officer, drug trafficking, and firearms charges. Yeah, they're in the hood.
It's because obviously, even over the course of the 30 days, which is what the president is able to do under the law before requesting an extension from Congress, most analysts predict that although the presence of increased law enforcement may tamp down crime, at least during this period, once you go away, the root causes of why that crime is happening do not. But the president, of course, as you know, Jake, is doubling down. He's reiterating that
the root cause is Democrat policies and fatherless homes.
Crime is much worse in D.C. than the numbers actually show. And as I said, to be able to go beyond those 30 days, he does have to request Congress to do that, give him that authority. Is that something that he is considering?
Yeah, a wild man. That's what I would really recommend. If you're not near a city, just go live in the woods. But that's going to be way more difficult. You're going to need some essential survival skills. But yeah, that still counts as I don't like to say homeless. I like to say home free.
Considering.
Yeah, and he said it so much yesterday in taking questions from reporters. He said he will call a full national emergency to try to extend the National Guard and federal takeover in D.C. without congressional.
Washington, D.C. has one of the highest rates of crime in the world, more than many of the most violent third world countries.
Approval if he doesn't get it. That would be obviously subject to massive legal challenges and massive ramifications
in fact,
for how the city governs itself. But Vlad, I think the important thing to note is that there is not quite the appetite in Congress just yet for this.
In fact, a precinct commander was just suspended for allegedly manipulating the violent crime statistics. And the D.C. Police Union likewise says real numbers are much higher because the Democrat government of D.C. has largely stopped investigating, arresting, and prosecuting most of the crime. The published statistics don't even capture a fraction of the actual violence. I don't think Trump typed this. I can't read this in his voice because he doesn't. Where's all the caps?
Saw Democrats say that they're not open to negotiating on this, and Chuck Schumer, who
certainly
leads Senate Democrats, saying in an expletive, no way, that he's going to allow the Trump administration to come to the table to negotiate any of this, or for a bill to be passed that would kind of roll back what the D.C. does have the ability.
And this is something I've seen from
everybody wants to.
Enough of that. I didn't know it was just going to be talking heads at a desk. I wanted to see the protesters. I'm trying to find some protest corn. Protest corn. So this has happened. This is not the first time this has happened. From CNN. Despite Trump's tough tone now, things were much worse in Washington when the National Guard was rolled out in 1968. Read more with a free account. I already did a free account. Welcome back. Welcome back. Maybe later. No thanks. I'm done. Thank you. Fear in the streets, buildings burning, law enforcement struggling to tamp down violence and control chaos. It's the kind of scene that has brought a federal military response to U.S. cities in the past, and it's a vision of Washington, D.C. that President Donald Trump is invoking to bring the military to the city streets today. It's becoming a situation of complete and total lawlessness. Trump said in a news conference last week announcing his plans to federalize law enforcement in the Capitol, including the deployment of 800 National Guard troops. Now we're up to 1,200 with those 3 states, Ohio, South Carolina, and the other state, sending more National Guard troops to D.C. While the government has announced some arrests this week, many of them immigration offenses. So it's a 3-pronged attack. It's homeless, illegal immigrants, and criminals. Sounds good to me. And a lot of them, it's like a Venn diagram. We like Venn diagrams. Let me show you the Venn diagram. Where's paint? Where's paint? Paint. Here. We're going to Venn diagram it up. Where's my OBS? There it is. Venn diagram. Criminals. Whoop, wrong button. Hold on. Criminals. Stop changing the color. Criminals. Illegal immigrants. Looks like boobies. Illegal immigrants. And homeless people. I should have made the criminals this color. Homeless people. It's a Venn diagram. It looks something like this. And this area right here is the overlap. There's some overlap with illegal immigrants and homeless, and there's some overlap with illegal immigrants and criminals. And then there's some overlap with criminals and homeless people, and criminals and illegal immigrants, and homeless people and criminals, and homeless people and illegal immigrants. And then there's this section in the middle, and I think these circles might even actually be closer together, where this middle section right here, there's a lot of overlap between criminals, illegal immigrants, and homeless people. There's a big overlap. Enough with the Venn diagram. We love Venn diagrams. Great graph. One of the best graphs. Do you want to save your work? No. I know I spent a lot of time on that, but we don't need to save it. Well, the government has announced some arrests this week, many of them immigration offenses. The scene in Washington has been a far cry from the description Trump gave when announcing the federal law enforcement takeover, saying the district has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals. Since their arrival this week, members of the Guard have spent much of their time posted near landmarks and standing next to armored vehicles. I'm trying to go on a vacation with my family to sightsee. We're trying to look at the Lincoln Monument and the Washington Monument of our nation's capital. See the White House. See the what's that long pool in front of the Washington Monument called the Infinity Pool or something like that? You know, trying to look at the tomb of the fallen soldier. Trying to take the family and walk through the Capitol and see the sights. Gettysburg, is that in Washington D.C.? I don't even know. No, that's like in Pennsylvania or something. Anyway. And there's homeless people everywhere, and illegal immigrants, and criminals at the same time, all three. No, we got to clean that up. We got diplomats from all over the world visiting our nation's capital to do diplomacy stuff. Can't be having it look like this. Since their arrival this week, members, I already read that. Request selfies. Wait, what? Their time posted near landmarks, amiably obliging tourists who request selfies. Dad, let's get a picture with the National Guard in the Capitol. It's a noticeably different situation than the chaotic one that prompted the biggest military call-up in Washington since the Civil War, the 1968 riots, following the assassination of civil rights leader Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., communist in Tennessee. Oh, we're getting the camera flash thing. Hold up. I can fix it. I got it. It should be fixed now. No corn in chat. Elder Lion should become a wild man. No corn in chat. Oh, wait. I'm on top chat, so maybe. Dude, when you're in top chat, you can't see the boobies that Kat did. They blocked it from top chat. You got to go to live chat to see it. You saw smoke, you saw flames, you see cars speeding by, there's a riot. Let's start a riot. Here, I'll show you the picture. Look at this. City burning down. This looks like a picture I have in Rapid Fire. We had a building fire, a structural fire here in Salt Lake City this week. Burning down buildings. Civil rights equals burn down buildings. It was as if war had come to the city, at least for a small kid. That's the way it felt. Washington, D.C. historian John DeFerrari, who was 10 years old at the time, I remember being out and playing in the front yard of our house and seeing a military jeep come by on patrol. 2 soldiers there, a machine gun mounted. To hear the president tell it, the situation in Washington is just as dire today. People are so happy. People are so happy to see our military going into D.C. and getting these thugs out, Trump said. He called them thugs. Uh-oh, that's racist. Many local elected officials are expressing less enthusiasm for the federal action and the impression the president is giving of the district. One thing that has everybody pretty mad, especially me, is the characterization of our city and our residents, responded Mayor Mariel Bowser. Well, why don't, maybe if you did your job, Mariel Bowser. Bowser is a gangster video game character. She does not deserve the name Bowser. She is not King Koopa, okay? We don't live in a dirty city. We don't have neighborhoods that should be bulldozed. Yes, you do. You're lying. You're not doing your job. After spiking in 2023, violent crime in Washington has been on the decline, according to Metropolitan Police Department records. Yeah, but it's still high. Declining, but it's still really high. He's painted this dystopian vision, and it just doesn't track with the facts on the ground, D.C. Council member Charles Allen told CNN's Wolf Blitzer on Thursday. The National Guard was last mobilized in D.C. in 2020 during Black Lives Matter protests. Civil rights, Black Lives Matter. But then Trump's cleaning up the crime. 911 was an inside job. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. What, did you watch Loose Change 12 years ago to figure that out? Clever. Before 2020, the Guard and its predecessor, the D.C. militia, were placed on federal active duty only 10 times in the district, according to the Congressional Research Service, including a multi-year deployment during the Civil War. Look at them taking a nap in the cap. Taking a nap in the cap. No cap. National Guard members take a break from the heat at the Lincoln Memorial while protesters demonstrate against police brutality and racism in Washington, D.C. on June 6, 2020. See, they'll put this picture up, and then people would be like, look, the National Guard has to sleep outside. This picture is from June 6th of 2020. This picture is not from now. MLK's death brings anger to the streets. Oh, we got a video? It won't let me click on it, but are those dead people in the road, or those are mannequins? Look what I'm planning. Do all this while you're panicking with a mannequin in the cabana. All the stand-up banner. You're lacking the stamina. I'm in a Porsche with a 4-door Porsche. That's not a wild man. That's an inside freak. What the? What up, Jeremy? Within hours, businesses were in flames. 100 would ultimately be looted or torched. But not the bookstore. They skipped over the bookstore. As fury over King's death expressed itself in the devastation of the several neighborhoods, including historically black community of Shaw. By the weekend, the D.C. National Guard was part of a deployment. More than 13,000 soldiers, most of them fully armed Navy and Marines. See, they're comparing this to what Trump's doing. There's 1,000 of them, not 13,000. You had little mobs throughout the city, and you had to be aware of what those consequences could be if you got caught up in that mob. Look at this. There's fire damage on the whole block. Crazy. So this was 1968. Martin Luther King riots. Trump tests the limits of his authority. So this is today. They're just chilling. This guy's protesting in a big turban. Your turban is disturbing. Sipping on some bourbon. I always forage for hens in the grocery store. What does that even mean? I forage for my own food in places called grocery stores. Okay. One more video, and then we'll move on. Trump. This is why Trump is cracking down on Washington, D.C. from D.C. Shorts.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back.
Crime in D.C. is ending and ending today.
Let's take a brief look at why Trump is intervening.
Pam looking tired. Pam looking like she needed to take a nap.
In Washington, D.C., shall we?
New video release shows the suspects in a vehicle in an armed robbery in Northwest D.C.
A group of suspects targeting a high-end athletic.
A bunch of youthful party goers, a bunch of young neighbors.
Store.
DC police need your help to find
Neighbors.
two people caught on camera during a robbery and shooting in Chinatown. Investigators say the shooting victim, 20-year-old
another neighbor,
Whitfield, was arrested just minutes later for trying to carjack someone.
People like Denise Krepp say it's a
see all them neighbors.
scary time to live there.
We've got robberies, we've got burglaries, we've got carjackings, we have car thefts.
2 young boys arrested in D.C. accused of robbing a business on
a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old out committing armed robbery. Just some youthful neighbors.
Benning Road in Northeast. Police arrested an 11-year-old as well as a 14-year-old. Investigators say they
This is what the left calls dog whistling, by the way.
They pulled out a handgun, demanded cash, then ran off.
Homeless encampments are now nestled across our nation's capital.
Hobos
are at a break.
Needles and hobos.
Point.
The needle.
This guy's taking a shit in the trash. The friendly young neighbor is taking a dump in the trash.
On the floor. The drug use.
The mayor seems not to have enough control.
This act of vandalism that happened.
Yeah, well, she's a dumbass.
Happened just last night. You see from the picture, glass from a bus stop has been smashed.
Police released this video showing the moments the group entered into Aloe.
Within minutes.
Aloe. Look at them. They're just jacking everything. Some friendly neighbors. Robbing the Aloe. I don't even know what aloe is. A-L-O.
The group can be seen grabbing clothes and stuffing their bags all before running out of the store.
Look at this. This is crazy. They're just taking the whole store.
Oh, I was working on the second floor. I was standing on the ladder. Then I looked down in front of me, and there was a man standing there with a gun pointed at me saying, "Give me your money."
The pair assaulted a group of people, left empty-handed, striking again.
Who carries cash nowadays? That's crazy too. Like, you just walking around pointing guns at random dudes doing their job, and you think, what do you think? He's got a wad on him? All the friendly neighbors popping off.
And 5 minutes later on Vermont Avenue near 11th Street, a victim robbed, not hurt. A similar crime an hour and a half later.
Some shots, some bangs. We've seen police officers running in all directions.
I almost feel a little desensitized to it in a way because
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I'm going to hand out whistles in case they're in trouble.
As it seems to be of the norm. It's actually pretty scary that these teenagers own guns.
The robbery of 39.
These youthful party-going neighbors owning guns. Crazy.
9-year-old Brian Smith found unconscious.
And I'm sure it's the gun's fault. It's gun violence. We need more gun control, and then we won't have such a problem with the neighbors.
Here on T Street, just off of the busy U Street corridor around 5 a.m. He died November 7th.
These people here in D.C., all these
mothers, children been killed in the streets by juveniles.
The 5 girls
by juveniles. Oh man. Say what you say. Say it.
who attacked Reggie Brown were all tried and found responsible as juveniles. Currently under DC law, juvenile offenders can only be held until they're 21, so the girls will all get out within the next few years.
We are told the victim had just withdrawn money from an ATM when a driver ran over him and killed him.
Video
Whoa. Dang. This is moments before this guy loses his life. Just going to the ATM.
News 4 then shows the SUV driving a short distance up 12th Street before the driver turns on the four-way flashers and at least 2 people get out of the car.
3 people. I saw another person dipped off in the cut that way.
Police believe they went through the man's pockets.
The car involved may be connected to 2 robberies that happened about an hour before the crash.
Just yesterday, News 4 reported on 3 D.C. residents who were...
And this is NBC reporting on this. But nothing to see here. There's no crime. It's fine. It's nice. What do we need the National Guard for? There's no crime. NBC is telling us there's crime.
Arrested and charged, accused of stealing over $250,000 from ATMs across the DMV. The fact that we're dealing with another ATM robbery, a burglary, less than 24 hours after the announcement of that arrest gives you an idea of just how serious of an issue this is. One suspect crawling through a broken door before another follows suit.
Getting some Nikes. We got to get some Jordans, baby.
Seconds later, one thief can be seen with 2 armfuls of clothes before doubling back to grab more and head for the exit.
These stupid ski masks that people wear now, and I see in Salt Lake City, these little fake wannabe gangsters. I see like white boys wearing these stupid like spandex ski masks. That should be illegal. You should not be allowed to wear one of those. Unless you're snowboarding, you're not allowed to wear that. Get it out of here. But stupid COVID, now everybody wears a mask and it's just normal to look like a retard wearing a mask.
Investigators say the thieves were able to get away with $50,000 worth of merchandise.
Police say these 3 suspects armed with handguns approached 3 people getting into a car, took their
I'm seeing a common theme with all of these suspects.
wallets and purses and got away in a gray sedan. 6:30 a.m. near 3rd and K Street Northeast. Police say they tried to rob another victim, failed to get anything, and took off. 6:55 a.m., 1300 East Capitol Street. They pulled guns on 2 victims and took their phones. 2 more people of interest came into the picture when they used credit cards from the robberies to buy items. Police
Genius.
report that these 2 people here used credit cards stolen during the rampage to buy things not long after.
You know, I noticed one common theme among all those people. They were all young. They were all young people. Young, friendly neighbors. Wow. Anyway, National Guard's in D.C. Let's go, Trump. Doing something about the problem. Nobody else is going to do anything. Where's my,
It's a man, baby!
That's for Trump. That's for Trump. What's he say to crime when there's crime out of control in D.C.?
How about no?
That's right. They're all so young. Yeah, that was the reoccurring theme that I noticed. Is the youthfulness of them all. All right, let me close all these up. Oh, and Bondi says 68 were, and this is from yesterday, 68 people arrested overnight in D.C. Saturday night. Over 300 arrests and counting just last night. Wait. Attorney General Pam Bondi said on Sunday that authorities arrested 68 people overnight in Washington, D.C. amid a federal crackdown on crime. Over 300 arrests and counting just last night. Our federal D.C. law enforcement partners made 68 arrests and seized 15 illegal firearms. Wow. Wow. All right. So that's that. Now we're going to move on. Trump met with Putin and Zelensky this week. Today he met with Zelensky, and I haven't even looked into what went down there. I have the full meeting with Putin pulled up. We're not going to watch all of this. Maybe we'll just watch Trump's closing speeches here. Let's just jump to a random point in the middle. You think climate change has no economic impact? Then don't click. Okay, I won't. I'm going to click skip ad as soon as I can. Give me an ad for climate change. It went from global cooling to global warming to climate change.
Incidentally, when the new administration came to power, bilateral trade it's still very symbolic.
Bilateral trade began to grow as soon as the new president came into power. Shocker.
We have a growth of 20%. As I've said, we have a lot of dimensions for joint work. It is clear that
if Putin knew that there was a female interpreter doing his voice, he would be pissed. This guy fights bears, and you're over here interpreting with a woman?
The U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. Russia and the U.S. can offer each other so much in trade, digital, high-tech, and in space exploration.
Space domination? The Star Wars are coming, guys.
We see that Arctic cooperation is also very possible, and our international context, for example, between the far east of Russia and the west coast of the U.S. Overall, it's very important for our countries to turn the page, to go back to cooperation. It is symbolic that not far away from here, at the border between Russia and the U.S., there was a so-called international date line. I think you can step over, literally, from yesterday into tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, he's talking about in between in Alaska. The international day line. You can time travel back and forth. You can jump back and forth into different days. That's crazy.
And I hope we'll succeed in that, in political sphere.
How come the people on the other side didn't tell us what was going to happen today? You live in the past. Why don't you warn us about the future?
I would like to thank President Trump.
Or wait. You live in the future. Why don't you warn us in the past?
For our joint work, for the well-wishing.
All right, let's see what Trump has to say.
John Radcliffe, thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time, and we look forward to that. We look forward to
the hottest country anywhere in the world. Fact check: America is not the hottest country. It's so hot that you're so hot right now, America.
We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress.
Trump been watching
today.
Zoolander.
I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir.
Ooh.
We had many tough meetings, good meetings. We were interfered with by the Russia hoax.
Russia, Ukraine.
I think he's probably seen things like that during.
Quit spamming the chat. I don't even know what that means.
The course of his career.
K2.
He's seen it all. But we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax. But what was done was very criminal. But it made it harder for us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant. But we have a very good chance of getting there.
They got to give up Crimea.
But we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, whose face.
They got to give up Crimea. That's one of the demands from Ukraine, and we're about to read about that. So, Russia, what does that mean? You can't just add another word to it and then it doesn't count all of a sudden. What the? All right. Hopefully the Times is gonna let me read this. Nope, they're not gonna. The paywall Times. Can't read the paywall Times. What's NPR saying? After meeting Putin, Trump changes his position on the need for a ceasefire. Kiev, when President Trump was flying to Alaska for his summit with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, Trump said the main goal was a ceasefire. He said he'd be disappointed if it didn't happen and warned of severe consequences. But shortly after meeting Putin, Trump reversed himself and said a ceasefire in the Russia-Ukraine war wasn't critical. He wrote on social media that it was determined by all that the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and Ukraine is to go directly to a peace agreement instead of a ceasefire, which would end the war, and not a mere ceasefire agreement, which oftentimes do not hold up. Yeah. Ceasefires only work until they ceasing fire. It's a ceasefire until they start firing again, and then all of a sudden, ceasefire's over. We just had to reload. Ceasefire, reload. All right. Return to fire. Zelensky's last visit to the White House on February 28th descended into a heated dispute between the Ukrainian leader and Trump, with the cameras rolling. I think he found a suit, because when I was looking for a PNG for the thumbnail of Zelensky, I put Zelensky PNG. They're all him in a suit. And the joke that I always make is this guy doesn't own a suit. I never seen Zelensky in a suit. And then I Google Zelensky PNG, and they're all Zelensky in suits. So I don't know. They're trying to change his image because he's visiting the White House. I bet you he wore a suit this time. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Has anybody seen it yet? Was he wearing a suit? Did he come right this time? When Trump began pushing for a ceasefire 7 months ago, the Ukrainians endorsed the move. Putin did not. And Trump became openly critical and grew increasingly frustrated to the point of threatening additional sanctions. But Putin and Trump appeared to be on excellent terms at Friday's summit. While they didn't announce any breakthroughs, Trump now looks to be on Putin's side when it comes to critical questions of whether to pursue an immediate ceasefire versus a comprehensive peace agreement, which would take lengthy negotiations. Ukraine favors immediate ceasefire. Ukraine wants a ceasefire for several reasons. First, it would be the quickest and most realistic way to stop the fighting in the short term. See, so Ukraine wants ceasefire, not peace deal. You were right, a military style suit. He wore a gay suit thing. I knew he would wear a suit today. Yep. He had to go out and buy a suit. I cannot get thrown out of White House again. I need to find suit. The suit was too big for him, and he had a t-shirt in earlier photos. Huh. We'll look it up here in a minute. First, we're doing Putin. Russia's approach to negotiations at the Alaska summit. Putin again raised his favorite talking point that the root causes of the conflict need to be addressed for a lasting peace. This includes an expensive list of demands that Russia has not been able to achieve on the battlefield. Russia now controls close to 20% of Ukrainian territory, yet is calling on Ukraine to give up additional land it still holds in the eastern part of the country in the Donbass region. Russia wants guarantees that Ukraine will never be allowed to join NATO. Russia also wants an agreement that would greatly restrict the future size of Ukraine's military. Ukraine rejects all these demands and says negotiations on a comprehensive peace deal would go nowhere while the fighting would grind on. From Russia's perspective, agreeing to a ceasefire could cost the Russian military its momentum in the fighting, where Russia has been making incremental gains the past 2 years, though at an extremely high cost in casualties. A truce would reduce Russia's current leverage and ease the pressure on Ukraine. Everything is going to be about what the Ukrainians can live with. In the wake of the Alaska summit, the diplomatic debate is now focused on whether to work for a near-term ceasefire or a permanent peace agreement. It will be on full display when Trump and Zelensky meet Monday at the White House. Dude, Trump could stop this war. He still ain't getting a Nobel Peace Prize. Don't worry about it, Trump. It's a gay prize. You don't need it. Let's watch this. Is this the body? Where's the body language expert video? We got that in a minute. This is just key moments. Key moments from the meeting. Key moments. Trump-Putin summit. Copyright music playing.
This is Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. Vladimir Putin just now emerging from the plane there and coming down the stairs. Of course, we remember the summit between these two leaders during President Trump's first term in Helsinki. They met, and now they meet again right here.
Reporters certainly did their best to shout as much as they could
Rubio.
to try and, get some questions to Vladimir Putin. I believe he was asked, will you agree to a ceasefire? Why can you trust Vladimir Putin? But no dice. They did not want to respond. They want to get down to business.
I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on. Most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal.
Oh, was that Ducey? Peter Ducey? He was like, you can't wear a suit. What's wrong? And then now today he's like, nice, you got a suit. Good job, buddy.
Until there's a deal, I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate. And I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant.
Yeah, we already watched that. What's BBC saying? Next time in Moscow, 5 takeaways after the Trump and Putin Alaska summit. Trump welcomed Putin back on the world stage with a red carpet. That's a really long, well, that's what I was thinking about when I was watching this. I was like, those are really long red carpets. How big is the roll of carpet? Those are long red carpets, intersecting red carpets. Nonetheless, he's a short actor with Tom Cruise. Like Tom Cruise. A lot of actors are short, apparently. I don't know why. Does he not wear suits because he's so short? I don't know. I just don't like them. They are uncomfortable. Red carpet. Putin faced with questions he never gets asked. In his 25 years as Russian president, Putin has achieved complete control over the media, crushing media freedoms and replacing information with propaganda. Within Russia, he doesn't often, if ever, come up against unfriendly reporters. Not in America, Putin boy. We're going to roast you in America. Yet it was only minutes after landing in Alaska that one journalist shouted in his direction, will you stop killing civilians? Dang. Putin's like, what? Why? How do you let them ask me this question? If the question bothered him, he didn't show it, appearing instead to shrug and divert his gaze. Meh. During a brief and somewhat chaotic photo session, more questions were shouted, including one in Russian about whether Putin would be ready to meet President Volodymyr Zelensky for a trilateral summit. Again, there was no obvious reaction from the Putin beyond a cryptic smirk. What was said and what was not said. We've already talked about the root causes. What was not said. Usual loquacious. Loquacious sounds like a neighbor name. Trump seemed to have less say than Putin. His statement was notable for its relative and usual brevity, but primarily for its vagueness. There are many, many points that we agreed on, Trump said, adding that great progress has been made in an extremely productive meeting. But Trump's calmed down a lot. You got to do your Trump voice has to be a little calmer, a little quieter. You can't just yell everything that you say. But he did not share any details, and it did not appear that any concrete steps taken towards a resolution of the Ukrainian conflict, no major agreements, or a trilateral meeting were announced. Next time in Moscow, Putin makes rare aside in English. I don't know. They're trying to assassinate our boy? I don't know. Then Zelensky, Trump says he's arranging a meeting between Zelensky and Putin after hosting Ukrainian leader. Oh, is this him in his suit? He got the suit. Let's see this. That's a nice. It's all black, looking like dark Elon, dark Brandon, dark Zelensky. You're at a funeral or the Oval Office? What's going on, Zelensky?
Of what you called severe consequences if a 30-day ceasefire or any type of ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? Does that change because you're
I don't think you need a ceasefire. You know, if you look at the 6 deals that I settled this year, they were all at war. I didn't do any ceasefires. And I know that it might be good to have, but I can also understand strategically why, well, you know, one country or the other wouldn't want it. You have a ceasefire and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and, you know, maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 deals that we made peace, and you know, long-term, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. Would I like the concept. You know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other. But all of these deals I made without even the mention of the words ceasefire.
You posted on social media.
So he's pushing for peace deals. Zelensky wants the ceasefire, of course, and that's what he's saying. Strategically, for Russia, that's not good because they do a ceasefire. Ukraine builds up their defenses and stuff, and then the war starts again once. It's like, pause. Hold on. Pause, guys. Camera, do not follow me. Stop it. Pause the fighting. We need to rebuild our defenses, and then we'll start again once we've recovered our health. It's like they're playing PvP in World of Warcraft, and they're like, hold on, I need to heal. No. We don't pause the fighting so you can heal. And then we're going to start fighting again when you're healthy. No. That's not how you win a war. Normally we'll cease until they have a successful transaction. Yeah. It's all about the money. Zelensky later said in a private meeting in the Oval Office went well. We had a very good conversation, he said. Maybe the best one. Oh, he's talking like Trump now. Very good conversation. Maybe the best conversation. Some say the best conversation. Zelensky's starting to talk like Trump. As a condition of ending the war, Putin has insisted that his country retain about 20% of Ukrainian territory that it now controls. Zelensky has said Ukraine's constitution forbids him to cede any land. Yep, Crimea. They want so Russia says you never join NATO and you have a restriction, a limit to the size of your military. You don't get nukes. You can't have nukes on our border. The same way America didn't want Cuba having nukes. Russia doesn't want Ukraine to have nukes. They want a limit to their military, and they don't want them to join NATO because they're the buffer between Russia and NATO. If they become part of NATO, there's no more buffer. Russia doesn't want that. Ukraine says, we want Crimea back. We want our land that you've taken control of back. I'm not a super history buff, but didn't all this belong to Russia not too long ago? Or USSR? I think it did. Trump and Zelensky spoke to the news media in the Oval Office before they went behind closed doors. Trump suggests he will not abandon efforts to forge a peace deal, though he conceded the Russia-Ukraine conflict has proven particularly stubborn. It's never the end of the road, Trump said. People are being killed, and if we want to stop that, so I would say, and we want to stop that, so I would say it's not the end of the road. I think we have a good chance of doing it. Let's see. Body language. Okay, this is I wanted to see this body language expert talking about Putin and Trump, but we just jumped to Zelensky. Whatever, we'll go back and forth between Zelensky and Putin. This is a body language expert. I wish I
I saw two guys
that's
that were
loud.
coming together, hadn't seen you for a little while. Good to see you. It was all, all systems go. Couldn't be friendlier on both sides. Trump, the gracious host, Putin thrilled to be here. From the get-go, and in fact throughout, he just looked as though this is fantastic. I think the biggest contrast was the before and after. So when you look at this is all systems go.
This is such a body language expert. They're just making stuff up.
Everybody ready, two leaders that are ready to get some work done. That's the way the body language looked. The after.
Oh, their body language looked like they were two leaders who were ready to get some stuff done? Is that what their body language looked like? Thank you, body language expert. Could never figure that out on my own.
Words was so much more pronounced with Trump. If you look at the two of them,
go back far enough,
at
Ukraine
the
belongs to
podiums,
Russia.
At their separate podiums, Trump was just much more subdued.
Solemn.
He defers to Putin, let Putin start out. Putin goes on into, Alaska history and being neighbors and neighborly.
Neighbors?
And all of that. And
they're neighbors. You got to watch out for the neighbors.
You've seen people at a conference table, and when somebody else is talking that's not saying anything particularly interesting or.
This lady is absolutely worthless. How much did she get paid for this? This is ridiculous. How do I get this job?
Anything that you really like.
I could do this.
And Trump, 90% of the time, was standing there at the podium, looking out into the audience, kind of, didn't move the needle until certain points.
Thanks. Wow. Man, I don't know what I would do without a body language expert breaking that down for me. That was excellent. Putin says, "What's up, neighbor?" What up, neighbor? Oh, we forgot to do a super chat goal. Let's do a small super chat goal. 5 for 5. 5 for 5. What do we got left? Well, we don't even have 2 hours left. We got an hour and a half left. We'll do 2 hours. Round of applause. I suck at grifting. We're sponsored by viewers like you. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. This is like public broadcasting. You know they're shutting down PBS. There was a meeting about it. It was on my Facebook. It's like, come down and voice your opinions to Congress, Utah Congress, about removing PBS. We need our public broadcasting. Who cares about PBS? I don't care about PBS. Oh, darn, I can't watch reruns of Arthur. What am I going to do without reruns of Arthur? Darn. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think maybe something special was in Ukraine that called for war besides economic or resources. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. There's definitely more to it than what we know. Zelensky says he had a long discussion with Trump over map showing Russian-occupied territories. I've argued about the percentage of the map because I know this percentage very well, he said. However, two leaders engaged in a warm and meaningful conversation. So Zelensky is saying that Russia has more territory than what the map shows. I'm the map. I'm the map. No more Teletubbies. 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 Say hello. That's a creepy ass show, dude. I don't think children should even be watching it. I think there's something like demonic about those things. I don't know what it is. Yeah, and NPR too. NPR's pretty much done. PBS is pretty much done. Sorry. No more taxpayer-funded liberal gobbledygook. Do we pay for that? For PBS? No more government funding. Yeah, government funding means taxpayer funding. So I don't want to pay for Teletubbies. Sorry. But there would be like some cool like late night, sometimes late night PBS. I remember when I was a kid, I learned about the Pythagorean theorem from watching late night PBS. It was like this old guy teaching a class. And it's just this old guy talking about the Pythagorean theorem. I didn't even learn it in school. I learned it from PBS in the middle of the night one night at my grandma's house. And then I went to school, and then when it was time to do the Pythagorean theorem, I was like, I already know it. Check this out. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm like a young prodigy, genius. Like, wow, you're so smart, Josh. How'd you learn that? PBS, late night. They're supposed to run off donations. Oh, okay. Huh. Donations of my tax dollars. No, I don't really know if it's funded by my tax dollars, but do you remember the Pythagorean theorem? Yeah, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. It's the most useless thing I ever learned in my life. They give you an example of, here's how you could use the Pythagorean theorem. Here, let me. If you have a building that's this tall and you have the floor and you need to put a ladder to get up to the top of the building, you can use Pythagorean theorem to figure out how tall the ladder is, because that's the hypotenuse and this is the legs. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, which is your hypotenuse. So you can figure out how long of a ladder you need. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just get the freaking ladder that you pull the ropes and it extends. And I just lean it against the building. Oh, it's too short. Let me make it taller. Lean it again. I've never used Pythagorean theorem to figure out the length of the ladder that I need to get to the top of the building. Never in my life have I done that. Another example they gave is if you're buying straws for a party. So you have the wall of the cup is A, and you have the bottom of the cup is B. The straw length, you get your hypotenuse and you add 2 inches, and then you know how long of a straw you need for the parties based off of how big the cup is. Who is ordering straws for a party and doing Pythagorean theorem to figure out the straw length? Also, who the hell makes customizable straw length? You just buy straws. You get the little flexi ones that extend. What are you talking about? I'm not using Pythagorean theorem to figure out straw length for my cups. I've never in my real life had to use any of that crap. No slope intercept form. No Pythagorean theorem. No algebra has ever been used in my entire life for anything. It's ridiculous. Maybe if you're like, I don't know, who uses algebra? Computer programmers? Coders? Something. But I don't never had to use algebra before. You're hurting my brain. Who worries about drinking from straws at parties? Gay guys. Bunch of gay hipsters. Yes. Yeah. If you have a cup, you just drink out of the cup. If you suck in on a straw, that's gay. Common issues for my parties. You just extend the ladder and hope you got it. Exactly. Yeah. And if the ladder's too short, well, figure it out. You're going to have to figure it out because we're not buying another ladder. We're not going to do Pythagorean theorem and go down to Home Depot and buy another ladder. Anyway. Hurricane Erin, Category 3 storm. It was a Category 5. It rapidly grew to a Category 5. It's weakened to a Category 3. Still dangerous. Has it, when's anticipated landfall? Hurricane Erin, which had exploded into a Category 5 powerhouse, was downgraded to a Category 3, but rip currents and surf remained life-threatening to beachgoers along the U.S. East Coast, and the National Hurricane Center said the storm, still driving dangerous 125-mile-per-hour winds, was centered around 310 miles northwest of San Juan, Puerto Rico. San Juan, Puerto Rico. There's a hurricane calming. Oh, also, thank you for the super chat, Chuck Dangers. $2 to look up Zelensky dancing in drag clip. Okay, 1 second. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. Zelensky dancing in drag clip. I feel like maybe I've seen this. It's real, right? It's not AI. Zelensky dancing in drag. I have seen this. But is this AI? Or is this real? Oh, it's from some like sketch comedy show. Sadly, it is very real. Okay. Well, guys, this is super gay, but Chuck Danger paid for it, so, you know. Take it up with him. It was only $2. It didn't even push the goal. I can hear his voice. Sounds like Rammstein or something. Okay, I can't do this. Okay, we're not watching all of this, Chuck Danger. Sorry about it, buddy. We got a hurricane to cover. Tropical storm. Tropical storm watch issued for North Carolina coast as Hurricane Erin brings life-threatening currents to the Outer Banks. When is estimated landfall is what I'm trying to know. Much of North Carolina is afraid right now. Those people are still living on campgrounds and haven't got their houses rebuilt. And oh man, you know the North Carolinians are freaking out right now. Under a tropical storm watch for Hurricane Erin expected to skirt the area this week, according to National Hurricane Center. And when it makes landfall, we'll do a hurricane watch. I'm a Florida boy, guys, so I always cover the hurricanes. One day when I have a van and don't have to work, we'll chase some storms. We'll travel to protests. Like, I would like to go to Washington, D.C. and, do some journalist work and see what's going on with the hobos out there. Chase some hurricanes. So you got to send super chats. So one day I could chase the hurricanes for you. So you don't have to. Sprawling Category 4 storm. So this was updated 42 minutes ago, and it says Category 4. So maybe it's made it back up to a Category 4 because it says updated 42 minutes ago. Churning in the Atlantic Monday after exploding in strength at a historic rate this weekend, fueling... Dude, every one explodes at a historic rate. Every hurricane, they're like, it went to Category 5 at record-breaking paces. Fueling the potential for life-threatening rip currents and towering waves towards the eastern U.S. coastline and Bermuda, all without making landfall. The watch covers an area from Beaufort Inlet to Duck, North Carolina, and includes a Pamlico Sound. A tropical storm watch means sustained winds of 39 to 73 miles are possible in the area within around 42 hours. It's the first such alert of the year for the Outer Banks. So is hurricane season just starting or is it ending? When you watch him doing political stuff, that's all you can think about. At least 75 rip current rescues have been reported. No swim advisory. Moderate rip currents expected. Tracking it. See. Okay, projected path. So it's not going to make landfall. They're saying it's estimated to not even make landfall. It's going to swing out. Throughout the week, it's going to swing out. But all of these beaches have rip current warnings and no swim advisories and things like that in place. So hopefully this prediction is correct and it does just swing out, because if this thing swings left, which it shouldn't, the pressure systems, it shouldn't do that. But, Who knows? They've got freaking HARP technology. They drop some dry ice into it, and suddenly it swings and hits North Carolina. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to do? But looking like it's not going to ever make landfall. Sucks for Bermuda, though. That dang triangle. They got a hurricane in the Bermuda Triangle. All right. But that's it for the news, y'all. That's it for all the main. That went long. It's okay. I don't have a third hour segment, so we can take more than an hour on this stuff. But we do have, not a lot, but we do got some of these. It's time for, oh, hold on. Let's go right here. Nope. This one. There we go. There we go. It's time for the weekly meme. Meme review time. When hashtags go bad. Hashtag Susan Anal Bum Party. Sus Anal Bum Party. Sus Anal Bum Party. Oh no, wait, it's Suzanne Album Party. Susan Album Party. That says Sus Anal Bum Party. Even innocent hashtags can sometimes backfire. The Susan Boyle Album Party being the latest. Susan Album Party. It says Sus Anal Bum Party. Poor Susan Boyle. Darn. Okay. Next. An album. Next. Fuentes says, another 90-degree day in Chicago. I'm out here sweating like Candace Owens trying to read. Dang. Oh, poor Candace trying to read. Out here in these streets trying to read. Hold on. Shit, where the heck?
Two mentals don't make a non-mental.
Next. Elon Musk. Doesn't make sense that the FBI leaves Fuentes alone unless he is an asset of some kind. Fuentes has been taking over the internet for the last 2 weeks since the Candace and Tucker call out. Then Elon jumps on board. Milo's going at him constantly. This is Elon Musk replying to Milo Yiannopoulos is at Nero. That's Milo. I can't stand Milo, by the way. But Elon, Milo, Tucker, Candace. Then Andrew Tate throws his hat into the ring. Andrew Tate says the Groypers seem defeated. So Andrew and Andrew Tate and Nick jump on a call with Myron from formerly of Fresh and Fit. I don't even know if they're still doing Fresh and Fit, but then they have a debate. That was a pretty interesting one, but Nick is running X right now. You got Elon calling you a Fed. You got Tucker and Candace. You got CIA Tucker calling you CIA. It's getting crazy over there on X. It's a Groyper takeover.
You ain't got the answers, man. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education.
Bro. Next. Justin Bieber. Look at that. Now, I don't know if this photo has been slightly edited to make him look older, but I don't think it has. This is Justin Bieber in a matter of 10 years. That's what happens when you be going to Diddy parties and they're sucking your lifeblood out as a child, sucking your life force out from the time you were a little kid. You end up looking like this when you're 28. How old is Justin Bieber? How old is Justin? 31. He's 31. He looks like he's 96. That's crazy. Next. Atlanta men go viral after being seen wearing skirts. Apparently, this is a new trend in Atlanta. Men wearing short skirts. Wow.
Why are you gay?
Wow. Shocker. I'm not surprised. I told you, hip hop is a secret psyop to turn people gay. And they start with the useful idiots, which is, the hip hop, the neighbors in the hip hop community. They use them. And then young suburban white people are the number one consumers of hip hop music. So they buy it. Next thing you know, we got all the women having giant fake necrosis butt stank asses. And we got all the men wearing dresses and skirts.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you.
That means
you're gay.
Next. And who runs the hip hop community? It's not the neighbors. It's the Jabers. It's the Jays. If you homeschool your kids, they won't fit in with society. Correct. Exactly. Your kid's going to be socially awkward. They're not going to fit in society. Yeah, I know. That's the point. I don't want my kid to fit in with society. I don't want my kid to socialize with green-haired lesbians. Sorry. My kids started homeschooling today. Let's go. Nice. What do I have? What's the sound not playing? Oh, shoot. I muted it again. Hold on. Do you guys hear it? You guys can hear it, but I can't hear it. You just coined the Jabers. Yeah. Hippity hoppity musics. All right, next. I can't hear my soundboard now. Somehow I... Check. Okay. Well, now you guys can hear me. Check. Oh, wait. Check. Hello. Check. Hold on. Technical difficulties. I know you guys can hear me, but I can't hear myself. Check. Check. Okay, you guys can hear that. I know you guys can hear me, but I can't hear myself and I can't hear my soundboard. Sounds good. I know, but I can't hear anything. Face is saying beer, please. I need to take this off of the soundboard because I accidentally hit this system volume button and it mutes everything. So now you guys can hear me, but I can't hear me in my ear and I can't hear my soundboard. But you guys can hear the soundboard. Whatever. We're just going to have to feel it out. Next. It's hot. Mila Joy. Oh, wait. Oh, I think I got it. Right here. Hello. Oh, I fixed it. Cool. I fixed it. All it does is system mutes. It like mutes everything if I hit that button. I need to take that off of there. Okay. Mila Joy. I don't know who that is. Breaking. The Senate in Texas just passed their new map. They eliminated 5 Democrat seats, including Jasmine Crockett's. Let's fucking go. Bye-bye, Jasmine Crockett. She's a neighbor. Next. Turn Chair's mic up? No. Exclusive. Embattled QAnon Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene openly cheated on her husband of 25 years with a polyamorous tantric sex guru and then moved on to another affair with the manager at her gym. I don't know if this is true. This is alleged. But, whoa, there's a naked guy there. Tantric sex guru. And fitness gym. Dude, there's a beef going on between, not Boebert, but, what's the other? Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer and MTG are having a cat fight on X. Actually, it's just Laura Loomer taking shots constantly, and MTG's kind of sitting back quietly. I don't know. You guys think this is true? This is alleged. It's a little gossipy. I just thought it was funny, so I threw it in here. Next. Jake Paul versus iCarly on Netflix. We're going to crash Netflix again, boys. Arlington, Texas, the AT&T Stadium. Jake Paul versus iCarly. Dang. Who's going to see that? How about no? Next. Aegon Targaryen. I hate when a motherfucker assumes shit. When they what? When they assume shit without knowing all the facts. Assume shit. I hate when a motherfucker assume shit. What are you saying? Assume shit. When they assume shit. Dang. I don't have a sound effect for that.
Two mentals don't make a non-mental.
We'll just do that one. iCarly will win. Jake Paul is a chump. This is why JS is a bad grifter. He refuses to give us what we want. What do you mean? The chair doesn't have a microphone, Jeremy. Next. Word search. Let's see. PNEIS. What is that? Snipe. HTIELR. Lither. Word number 2 is lither. Word number 1 is snipe. NGGERI. NGG. Ginger. The third word is ginger. BUTTSXE. Subtext. The snipe, lither, ginger, and subtext. Obviously. What did you guys think that these words were? What do you guys think that said? You guys have some dirty minds. Next. Whoa, breaking. Mysterious shadow appears above the WNBA arena just hours before tip-off. That's my shadow. Text you. I'm surprised he spelled facts as opposed to facts. Ginger is merely shuffled. Look at that giant shadow above the WNBA arena. You can see it from space. Next. It's important that we continue to mock the people who thought this would do anything. Yeah, and traumatize the children. Unfortunately, this didn't even last long. They ended up going to school on Zoom. But yeah, you remember the grocery stores? They had like the plastic shield there and the arrows on the floor. Like that helped anything. Like that helped anything.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Next. Polyester is the new birth control. This is not really a meme. And I don't know if it's true, but it says in one study, researchers dressed dogs in polyester pants to see how synthetic fabric impacts the body. The result, male dogs' sperm counts plummeted, hormones crashed, some even had testicular shrinkage. Testicular shrinkage. Female dogs, their progesterone levels dropped during their fertile phase, and they couldn't get pregnant. If all this happened in a controlled study on animals within weeks, what's happening to people who wear this stuff daily? Polyester is the new birth control. Look at that. Don't wear whitey tighties, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Wow.
Why are you gay?
Next. AF Post. ICE plans to acquire AI technology that can scan and identify people's irises. What have I've been telling you guys. I've been talking about this for years now. From 10 to 15 feet away using a mobile app, comparing the images to databases and social media photos for deportation purposes. Now, that's cool. I'm okay with ICE using whatever means necessary to deport people. But the point is, your eye is it's more identifying than your finger. It's the most identifying part of your body. Spoiler alert, they've been able to do this with satellites in low Earth orbit for 20 years. Technology is 50 years more advanced than what we know about. If we know that they can use a cell phone from 15 feet away to identify you through your eye, spoiler alert, they've been able to do it with satellites in space if you look up at the sky for 20 years. That's why you don't look at the sky. Never look at the sky. But even then, if you look straight ahead, the Earth is round. If the satellite is on the horizon, they can still see your eyeball and track you all over the globe. Next. How do you open this thing? When you cook chicken just right. That's dang Nazi chicken. What the heck is that? That's Nazi chicken. Never look up at the sky. When you cook the chicken just right. Next. Hey, girl, your name must be Pfizer because you just made my heart stop. Your name must be Pfizer because you just made my heart stop. I'm going to use that as a pickup line on somebody. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. That's what we used to go. We used to go, hey, girl. Is that kosher chicken then? No, that's not kosher chicken. If I can't look at the sky, how am I supposed to stare into the sun? That's my favorite pastime. Well, maybe if you burn out your iris and your retina, they won't be able to track you anymore. So you might want to do that. Your name must be Pfizer because you just made my heart stop. That's the ladies' man. KFC's customers are none the wiser. Oh, about the Third Reich chicken. Next. Do crackheads say, I can't get high today because I'm broke? No, they make it happen. Don't let a crackhead try harder than you today. Don't be like don't even be less than a crackhead, okay? Crackhead can make $110 a day panhandling in a couple hours and smoke crack all day. There's no reason you have to give up on yourself. Get it done. Next. Mike Tyson enjoying powdered donuts at a house party in 1988. He'd been eating some dang Little Debbie cakes. Little Debbie donuts. Look at Mike. Dang, Mike. Mike. Out here getting some powdered donuts. Next. I swear I'll eat your children. I'm going to fuck you till you love me. I just found out the neighborhood had a meeting about the crazy person on the block. It's weird they didn't invite me. Why wasn't I invited to the crazy person in the neighborhood meeting? This is ridiculous. Next. Chinese knife, American cheese. Chinese knife can't even cut through American cheese. I need blum, 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 blum. He had a date with Tinkerbell. There, I've always been one step ahead. Yes. Next. Time Magazine Global Cooling, 1973, January 1977, April 1977, December 1979. 70s, it was the Big Freeze. How to survive the coming ice age. Global cooling in the 70s. And then the 80s to the 2000s, it was global warming. The heat is on. Be worried. Be worried. Be worried. Be very worried. Global warming. Look, 2006, the polar bears are going to die because the ice caps are melting because of global warming. But then in April 77, penguins are going to take over because there's an ice age coming. Now, in 2025, we have climate change. Ice caps have actually gained ice. Polar bear numbers are on the rise. I guess we're wrong. We're going to have to change it again. Change it again. No, wait. It's more of a... Is the globe cooling or warming? Is it getting hotter or is it getting colder? Find out today on Unsolved Mysteries. Always giving us unrealistic expectations. That's an unrealistic expectation. Next. Joanne, husband lived in flat with dead wife's body in a wardrobe for 48 hours. Right below it. Wardrobe specials. We got specials on wardrobes. Come get your wardrobe specials. You might get Joanne's body. Next. Dang. Next. I let my blind friend borrow money the other day. He told me he was going to pay me back the next time he saw me. Wait a minute. He's never going to see me. I ain't getting my money back. Dang. Next. Japan is a highly cultured society. Also Japan, Ninja whiskey from the hood. They selling 51.4 proof alcohol in Japan called Ninja whiskey from the hood. Neighbor whiskey from the hood. I want to get some of that. Where do I get that at? Dang. I don't have a song. I don't have a sound for that. Anyway, next. The pandemic had everyone tweaking. This is a guy baptizing a baby with a squirt gun. He's shooting a baby in the head with a squirt gun. I don't know if this is real, but it's funny. That look like Tucker Carlson right there. Look at father blasting the baby with a dang holy water gun. That's a holy water gun. Holy water gun.
How about new?
Next. Me, why am I always broke? Amazon, your dog sombrero has been delivered. Who's buying a dog sombrero for their dog this year? Hey, my name is Pepe La Puppy. I am a little puppy. I have a sombrero. He's very nice. Next. Seesaw. Was that your dog? Your dog got away. Next, if you use your husband's old drawers to make a tank top, you might be a redneck. She's wearing the whitey tighties. There's a dang halter top. That's crazy. Is James Jewish all of a sudden? Last time I heard he was becoming Orthodox. Yeah, you've missed a lot, Seasal. Now he's he looked at the records and he's oh, not that accent. Oh no, sir, no. No. We don't like it. Why do you talk like that? We don't talk like that. Yeah, he got some like ancestry records and he figured out that he's a little hat. So he's gone full Torah on us. Next, I have questions for the design team. Tesco Nut Milk. Who designed this? Why does this one have this line here and this one doesn't? Nut Milk. Look at the. Where do you buy that? You buy that at the dang Nut Doctor. Next. Have you heard of Murphy's Law? Yeah, what is it? If something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Right. Have you heard of Cole's Law? No, what is it? It's thinly sliced cabbage. You guys get it? Thinly sliced cabbage, you get it? Cole's Law? Coleslaw? 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 You get it? That's a good joke right there. No? No? You're not laughing? Get it? Coleslaw. Coleslaw? Next. Nice. Molotov to him. Molotov. Mazatov. Hey! Hey! Molotov. I'm a transsexual looking for a good man. Look within. Look within yourself and you'll find a good man. Or at least a man. At least a male. Anyway, that's it for the memes. Okay. Now we got some funny reels and some rapid fire news. A lot of interesting stories in rapid fire news this week. No real what's the word I'm looking for? No real like coherent structure to the rapid fire. I just threw a bunch of articles into a folder and we're going to look at them. A lot of interesting stuff though going on in the world. Let me find my folder. Where's my folder? Yes, open a new window. Pause. Hold up. Almost ready. I fired my producer, so we're the producer and the writer and the show planner and the editor, all at this, and the head behind the desk, all at the same time. All right. Pause. Okay. First, we got some funny reels, and then we got some rapid fire news. You ready? Let's go. Let's watch this. Oh, he's working out with this girl. He's teaching her a new exercise. Let's see what this exercise is.
Right there. Just like I am, you're going to push it to me. Just like that. That's how I need you to start pushing with that plate. They try to get all that damn food. I just need you to push it away.
One more
Need you to
time.
start pushing with that plate. They try to get all that damn food. I just need you to push it away.
That's a personal trainer right there. That's the exercise she needs to work on. Push that dang plate away. Push it away. Push it. Next. She just cooked all women with one word. What's your relationship advice?
If your man cannot afford your bills, you need to find a job, not another man.
Oh, burn.
What's your relationship advice?
If your man cannot afford your bills, you need to find a job, not another man.
Let's go. Based. If your man cannot afford your bills, you need to find another man, you need to find a job, not another man. What do you need me to do? Produce something. Produce it. Look at this. This is a fish-powered boat.
Right here that uses only fish to power a boat. Made this engine right here that uses only fish to power a boat. Put them in a comfy harness, I just clipped them in. And there you go, fish-powered boat.
Or you could just use a paddle and let the fish...
Shut up, bitch. I made this engine right...
Shut up, bitch. Don't be telling us we can't have a fish-powered boat. Imagine if you got sharks. Then you could go really fast. We all need to get a fish-powered boat in our lives. Shut up, Karen. Oh, you're hurting the fish. Shut up, bitch. That's right. Next. Okay, this one's fast. It's fast. We got a parkour expert. His arms and legs are gone. You're going to hell. If you laughed at that, you're going to hell. Little Asian guy with no arms and legs. Where does legs go? Uh-oh. Cramuel is back. Cramuel the goat. This lady trying to hide in a barrel.
My barrel, man? Yeah. No, you better get on somewhere. Yeah, she don't got to get my barrel like that, man. Unchecked, man. What you about to... Yeah, man. No, Carlos, don't break this up. She knew what time it was. She knew what time it was.
Cram.
Hey, I want you to marvel and reflect on your actions, man. The ramifications of your actions, man. Look at your friend over there on the jungle gym. That tree ain't gonna save you. That tree ain't gonna save you. You shouldn't have been up in my barrel. Hey, man, let me go, Carlos. Let go of my chain, Carlos. She need to know she don't need to be up in my barrel like that. You feel me? Oh, you out here in my barrel, man?
What if I don't want to use a paddle? Cram. Okay. Let's go to rapid fire news. Okay, those are the reels. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. Hold on, I need to fix this. Fixing something. Producer, fix it. With more Trump news. This is rapid fire Trump news. Trump considers reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. Report. You know, I don't think we should legalize it, but dropping it down to I always get the schedules backwards. Schedule 3 instead of Schedule 1 or Schedule 2. Trump told attendees at a $1 million a plate fundraiser at his New Jersey golf club earlier this month that he was interested in making a change to the plant's classification from the Wall Street Journal. Comes after cannabis companies have committed millions of dollars to the president's political groups, according to the report. Of course. A potential move to remove marijuana from the list of Schedule 1 controlled substances and make it a Schedule 3 drug would make it significantly easier to buy and sell cannabis and make the industry more profitable. See, that's what I don't like. You're not reducing the schedule to make it easier to buy. You're reducing the schedule because you shouldn't get the same prison sentence for having meth, crack, or heroin as having pot. You know, there should be a difference in the punishment of having a bag of weed compared to having a bag of fentanyl. Definitely should be a difference in punishments, but making it easier to buy and sell and making it more profitable, not a fan of that. So, Trump, don't do it. Don't bow to these rich potheads That money is coming from Chinese Yakuza gangs and cartels who have taken over Oklahoma and are growing all the pot farms with a bunch of illegal immigrants. You need to send ICE to the pot farms. You will get a lot of, and then when they say we're going to give amnesty to farmers, you talking about pot farmers? Because that's where a lot of the dang illegals are, and they're Chinese nationals. Dang Yakuzas. I think Yakuza is Japanese. Whatever they call a Chinese gangster. A dang Ching Chong. Something like that. Get them out. Don't bow to the libertarians, Trump. We don't want it. Bad move. See, I'll call him out. I don't like that. What's next? Radio from ABC News. Radioactive wasp nests have been found near former nuclear weapon production site. I call BS on this. This is fake. Ain't no radioactive wasps. This is like the murder hornets. Texas had murder hornets. Now South Carolina has radioactive wasps. If you get stung by one of these, you might get superpowers, though.
And concerns are rising over radioactive wasps.
What the fuck? Concerns are rising over radioactive wasps. Yeah. If that's a real thing, I'm concerned. What the heck?
Nests found in South Carolina. So the first nest was discovered at a nuclear waste facility in July and removed. Now 4 more nests have tested positive for traces of nuclear waste. Experts say the wasps may have been exposed to radioactive waste from the soil around the facility or through a small leak.
Do they have special powers? If I get stung, do I become Wasp Man?
But they say the wasps are most likely not able to spread radioactivity even through their stingers. The Savannah River nuclear site says...
I wanted to become a radioactive Wasp Man. I was going to go walk in there and just get stung up.
The nests do not pose a health risk to anyone, and they remain committed to ensuring the health and safety of all involved.
Dang. Radioactive wasps. Nukes aren't real.
Choose UV protection. Award-winning.
Nukes aren't real. Therefore, radioactive wasps are not real. I call BS on this story. Radioactive wasps. Whatever happened to the dang murder hornets? You become wasp dead. Wasp dead. Radioactive wasps are coming. Look out. Okay. Enough of that. That's crazy. What's this one? Oh, the guy that raped and murdered Rachel Morin. We've talked about this story when she got killed. Remember under Biden, all these Mexicans were running around killing a bunch of pretty blonde girls? They're eliminating the blonde. We like the blondes. They have good genes. They're killing all the pretty blonde ladies. Young, attractive, blonde, good genes. They were killing them. Well, this guy is going to serve life in prison. He got due process. There you go, liberals. We didn't deport him. We gave him due process. Now they're going to be like, oh, well, you should have deported him instead of giving him life in prison for murdering a white racist. I'm walking into the gym and it's packed. An illegal alien MS-13 gang member convicted of raping and murdering 37-year-old Rachel Morin, a mother of 5 children, in April. Mother of 5 children? She got 5 kids? She's looking good for pumping out 5 babies. Well, not anymore. She's RIP. But was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on Monday. She's looking good for 5 kids. She got her lips done, though. I don't like that. That's weird. On Monday, a Maryland judge sentenced Martinez Hernandez to life in prison without the possibility of parole, a second life sentence, and another 40 years in prison for raping and bludgeoning Rachel to death in what has become known as the most horrific crime in Hartford County, Maryland's history. Rachel went for a walk, Heritage Trail. When she did not return home, her boyfriend, Richard Tobin, reported her missing. The following day, her body was found on the side of the trail. We covered this story when it happened. And it wasn't just her. It was a bunch of pretty young ladies were getting murdered up by a bunch of gang members. Look at this guy. He's like smiling. Oh, yes, now I get food and I get a place to stay. I did not like being homeless and going to the Home Depot and having to go to work. Now I get to go to the nice prison. This prison is nicer than my home in Mexico. Crazy. But whatever. He got life. Due process. Let's go. Here's the fire. The fire in downtown Salt Lake City. 5 businesses have been destroyed after a structure fire in downtown Salt Lake City Monday night. And when I was going to work, I remember looking over and seeing like a giant cloud of the sky was really dark, and the sun or the moon or the sun was over there, and it was like orange, and it was coming from behind a big cloud. And I was like, what is that? I thought maybe there was another fire in the mountains, but it wasn't. The fire was in the city. Waiting for this ad to play. Chief says they responded to a cooking fire that started at London Bell, a restaurant located near 321 South Main Street. On arrival, crews found smoke and fire between the ceiling and the roof. 78 firefighters responded to the scene along with 20 fire apparatus. Crew estimates that the fire has caused nearly $5 million in damage. Dude, how many ads are you going to play? 3 firefighters suffered minor injuries. Oh, wait, it's playing right here.
Thank you. This morning, we begin with the latest on a fire in downtown Salt Lake, forcing several buildings to evacuate.
Firefighters are asking people to avoid downtown this morning. Our Jonathan May joins us now live with what we need to know. Jonathan?
Avoid downtown, all of downtown.
Yeah, good morning, Matt, Alyssa. That's right. I'm here just standing in front of London Bell, which is a...
I thought about going down here and getting some of my own footage of the aftermath, because this is like 2 blocks away from where I go to the gym in the morning.
Restaurant here in downtown Salt Lake City, this historic area. I'm going to step out of frame here because it looks like firefighters are out here this morning.
Oh, so it's right on Main Street, because here's the tracks. London Bell. This is right. This is like right on the night strip where people go for all the bars and stuff. London Bell. I think I've been in this bar.
Still assessing the damages. I see right over there they look like they're shining their lights through the building to get a better look at the devastation and kind of what happened last night. And speaking of last night, I want to get to this video real quick right here. This is from our evening crews last night. They were here on scene last night just after 10 p.m. Now the call for this fire.
This is like the 4th big fire that we've had very recently. There was one a couple weeks ago in the morning while I was at the gym. I was like, smells like something's burning. And I looked in the distance and there was a huge cloud. And then this one, and then we've had 2 up in the mountains and then 1 over in the canyon. Lots of fires this year going on. And they'll blame fireworks even though nobody was doing fireworks.
Went in right before 9 p.m. About a fire blazing here on 321 South Main Street. All buildings within the area were evacuated. Everyone was accounted for. No reports of people being injured. 1 firefighter did suffer.
Look at these people scooting in the smoke. That looked like me. That would be me run down there on my scooter, scooting up.
Some minor injuries, but they were reportedly minor. He was taken to a hospital. Now firefighters say if you're in the area, stay away, stay inside your home, close all your doors and windows, maybe even turn off your HVAC system. Now smoke got so bad they wrapped up the last night's on-camera media update early.
I mean, the atmosphere is doing some stuff that's not really awesome for us. I mean, we have some sort of high pressure that's bringing this smoke down.
Yeah, it's because we live in a freaking canyon surrounded by mountains. That's why there's so much inversion. That's just the way that it happens when you're in a freaking valley. That's what happens. And then the mayor's like, we need green energy plans to help save our environment. No, dummy. If you build a giant city in a valley like this is what happens. It's unavoidable. No green energy initiatives are going to stop the inversion and stop the way that the air gets trapped in the pressure system. That's just the way it works. It's science.
And we initially had wind coming out of the east, but we should probably button this up and get into a good area.
Road closures still seem to be in place for this area of Main Street. We'll, of course, keep you updated both on air and online as soon as we find out more information.
Dude, I could do these reporters' jobs way better than them. I want your job, nerd. Next. What else we got? Oh, the CDC shooting. I covered this, but not super thoroughly. Remember, I raided you to JLR Investigates when this was happening live. But this is at the CDC building, the shooting that happened. I don't think anybody died in this. Or maybe, I feel like I remember maybe 6 people. No, he was just shooting, claimed the life of a responding police officer, David Rose. Okay, so one person died, but he fired more than 150 rounds, nearly 200 shots fired. But only one person died, but he was basically just shooting at the CDC building. First look at shooter Patrick Joseph White. They're going to play an ad. Yeah. According to GBI, nearly 200 shots fired by Patrick Joseph White, hitting buildings at the CDC. Three names. That means he's an MK Ultra assassin. Documents have been found referencing COVID-19 vaccine. Guns belonged to father and were secured, but White was able to take them. I wonder if they're going to arrest the dad, because that's the precedent that has been set. How old is he? He's 30 years old. Okay, they're not going to hold the dad accountable for that. He's 30. 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White had no known criminal history, but had recently expressed suicidal thoughts, leading to police contact several weeks before the shooting. Of course there was police contact before the shooting. Of course there was. The GBI says 500 shots were fired and about 200 rounds struck 6 CDC buildings, though no employees were hurt. Written documents expressing White's distrust of COVID-19 vaccines, which investigators described as a personal statement rather than a direct threat, were discovered during the investigations. Authorities say White broke into a safe at his family's home to access the firearms, a mix of rifles, a shotgun, and possibly a handgun. So he fired more than 500 shots and he hit the building 200 times. That means 300 shots. He missed the building. White people are supposed to be able to aim. Authorities say White, and his name is White, broke into a safe. I already read that. GBI confirmed DeKalb County police officer David Rose was shot and killed while responding to the incident. He served with honor, courage, and unwavering dedication. His sacrifice will never be forgotten. So he's been charged. Or I don't think he's been sentenced yet. But yeah, we finally know the name of the shooter. Because they didn't release any of this information when it happened. Interesting. What else we got? When they use their middle name, you know it was the CIA. Yeah, we've talked about that before. All the that's in the movie Conspiracy Theory, one of my favorite movies with Mel Gibson. Great movie. Talks about how all the assassins have 3 names. It's MK Ultra Op. UFC fight at White House on July 4th. Absolutely happening, Dana White said. Always an ad. It's a short ad. Let's see Trump announcing the fight. No, I don't want to go full screen mode.
Every one of our national park, battlefields, and historic sites are going to have special events in honor of America 250, and I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have. Does anybody watch UFC? The Great Dana White.
The Great Dana White.
We're going to have a UFC fight.
Dana the Great.
UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build.
They're laughing and like shaking their head no, like he's not serious. Oh, he's serious. And I don't know why liberals are freaking out and like making fun of it. I think it's awesome.
We're not Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal, too. And to fund improvements and enhanced experiences across the park system, for this anniversary, I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low for Americans. And we're going to do that. The national parks will be about...
If you're a foreigner, you got to pay extra to get into our parks. Let's go.
America first. We're going to take it America first for the national parks. And these are just a few of the many programs.
Our taxes are paying for the venue. I don't care. I'd rather pay for that than it's fine. I'm going to be saving money with my Paramount Plus UFC fights. That's right. How much will the tickets will they charge for the pay-per-view? Well, it's going to be on Paramount, so it's going to be free. The pay-per-view will be free. A ticket to get in is probably going to be $1,000. Even a regular UFC pay-per-view to get into the event you're looking at, the cheap seats are like $500. The good seats are like $2,000 for a UFC pay-per-view to go there live. So, but the pay-per-view is going to be free because Paramount did a $7.7 billion deal with the UFC. So next year, pay-per-view events are going to run on Paramount Plus. So you just need a Paramount Plus subscription. If you're a Walmart shopper and you use Walmart online to order your groceries, you get Paramount Plus for free. I don't pay for that subscription, though. Well, start ordering your stuff from Walmart and you can get a free Paramount Plus subscription. We found that out the other night. So a lot of places you can get a free Paramount Plus subscription. And anyway, it's not expensive. Got to find someone who pays for that. I get it for free. A lot of people get it for free. Plus, some of the pay-per-views will be on CBS for free, so you can watch it on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Initiatives, celebrations that will renew for our national pride. We're going to have great pride. I think we do have great pride.
And I know a guy you can talk to help you figure out how to watch the pay-per-views for free. There is a way. I would never condone that sort of activity. You know, I definitely pay $100 for every pay-per-view that I watch, but there is a way.
I think we have more pride and more spirit in our country right now than we've had in 50 years.
Dana White the Great. Dana the Great. Paramount Plus deal will change how UFC fans watch fights. Fan will no longer need to pay $80 per pay-per-view fight starting in 2026. Instead, all major UFC events, including 13 numbered cards and 30 fight nights each year, will be available on Paramount Plus through a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal. 777. Some marquee cards will also air on CBS, making them accessible to an even wider audience. Depending on their Paramount Plus plan, U.S. subscribers will pay between $5 and $12 a month for access. $6 and $12 a month for access. So that's a deal. But if you get your groceries at Walmart online, you get a free Paramount Plus deal. White praised Paramount and Skydance CEO David Ellison as brilliant. I'm just happy that it's not Disney anymore. ESPN, the deal is a major jump from roughly $550 million ESPN currently pays annually for UFC coverage. So it's going from $550 million to $1 billion a year. Paramount hasn't confirmed whether it will raise subscription prices before or during the contract. It's also unclear. That's what I'm worried about. If there's going to be some extra price you have to pay, because Paramount Plus has Showtime on it, and you have to pay extra to get the Showtime package. They may do something like that where my free Paramount Plus thing won't work, and you have to pay a little extra. But if I have to pay like $5 a month extra, I'm willing to do that. $5 extra on top of free. UFC archival footage will be packaged for streaming. That's epic. Whether full fight replays or historical bouts will be included at no extra cost. Most of the historical fights are on YouTube, free fights on UFC's YouTube channel. Whenever there's a pay-per-view coming up, they'll put out a bunch of free fights of the fighters that are going to be on the card. So you can get a lot of good fights for free on YouTube. My sister's name is Dana. Dana the Great. Dana's going to be the next billionaire like Elon, but he's not autistic. I wonder if he might already be a billionaire. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. After this, maybe. White said UFC matchmakers are already working on the debut Paramount card, though no main event for July 4th White House show has been announced. This is a one-of-one event. Dan White said everyone will win. Epic. What else we got? Look at this. Lego's rumored $1,000 Star Wars Death Star spotted in leaked images with one of the largest piece counts of all time. Leaked photos appear to reveal an enormous new Lego Death Star comprised of 9,023 pieces. That's huge. There's the collector's Death Star, which is the one after it got blown up, and it's a collector's set, so it's just for display, and it's impressive, and it's got 5,000 pieces. Then there's the playset Lego Death Star, which has all the little rooms in it with all the minifigs, and there's like a trash compactor that opens up, and all this stuff. It's 5,000 pieces, and it was $500. This is 9,000 pieces at $1,000, which piece to price ratio is actually kind of low. 9,000 pieces should be $900. 1,000 piece set is about $100. A 2,000 piece set, $200. A 600 piece set should be about $60. That's about how you want to price it out. What is that? 10 cents per piece is basically the price ratio you want. This is only 9,000 pieces for $1,000, which is actually a bad piece to price ratio. But the reason I think that the price is so high is because apparently this comes with 32 minifigs. And the minifigures are where the money is at. Any exclusive minifigs, if you save them, put them in a little Ziploc bag and save it, 10 years later, that minifig might be worth $300. So the minifigs are where the value is. And this is the picture. I'm going to be honest. Okay. First off, it's not a full Death Star. It's not a full circle ball Death Star. It's a slice of the Death Star. It's a panoramic slice. So this is what it looks like. And then you can see the box art, Ultimate Collector's Series, but it's a play set. It's not a collector set, which is weird. You see here, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just a wedge. It's a slice of the Death Star. It's like they sliced it and they took out. So it's flat, which will make for a really good display piece. But I'm looking at this. This is not 9,000 pieces. How are you getting? Because I can see a size comparison. This is how big a minifig is. So it's only like this big. And it's just a slice. I don't see how that's 9,000 pieces. That does not look like 9,000 pieces to me. I know the old Death Star was about the same size, but it was a full circle and it was only 5,000 pieces. How are they getting 9,000 pieces out of this? But it comes with 32 minifigs, multiple versions of Luke, multiple versions of Han. I'm sure there's going to be some exclusive minifigs. You get the Emperor. You get some of the Emperor's guard here. You got Luke in black and Darth. They can fight up here. You got another Luke over here. You got a Luke and you got a Leia and Chewbacca. You got Han. You got another Luke down here. You got a C-3PO. And then the coolest part, I think, is besides the laser, which looks awesome, the This Emperor's Room is not new. And this trash compactor scene is not new either, which is kind of lame. That they're using repeated things that they've done before. But the coolest part, I think, is you get a mini, what is this called? Executor ship. You get a little mini ship. This is like a little model in itself that fits inside of it. That's pretty epic. I don't know if I'm going to be paying $1,000 for this, because even though it would be a really nice to have displayed behind me when I get a shelf one day. Got to get a shelf. Princess Leia in the bikini. That's more of a Return of the Jedi thing than a Death Star thing. So she's probably not in there. But it would be a nice display piece. But $1,000, assuming this is even real, 9,000 pieces for $1,000. You do get a plaque. You get a collector's plaque. These are probably 3 exclusive figs. I mean, maybe in 10 years when this thing's retired, you could make a lot of your money back off of selling the minifigs if you needed to. And if you keep it in good condition and you keep the box, you know, you could always resell it as a used set. Once it retires, it'll probably be worth more than you spent on it. So could be a decent little investment, you know, if it doubles value in 5 years, 10 years, doubles value. Plus it's just cool, but this does not look like 9,000 pieces to me. Looks like 5,000 pieces. I don't know. I don't know if I like the slice idea. But anyway, that's that. What else we got? Look at this. I gotta go soon. Why are rabbits sprouting tentacle horns? Mutant rabbits. Look at that. That looks gross. Rabbits spotted with horn-like growths on their face in northern Colorado are doing better than they look. What the heck? Evolution. It's a jackalope. I always thought that was fake. A jackrabbit with horns on its head, a jackalope. Apparently, it's a real thing. Spotted with bizarre, somewhat grisly horns on their face, but wildlife officials say the bunnies are likely ultimately going to be okay. They're not a danger to others, at least not to non-rabbits. Tentacle-faced bunnies are infected with Shope papillomavirus. Isn't that like a STD? Hemopapillomavirus? Shope papillomavirus. They got SPV, a member of the same viral family that can cause warts in humans. It is an STD. These rabbits got a dang STD. Shope papillomavirus is known to affect only rabbits and hares, not humans or other animals. Harmless infection. But it looks creepy. It looks gross. New World Jew. What? Anyway, that's crazy. What else we got? Man accused of force feeding and throwing a seagull on Treasure Island Beach. What the? A 20-year-old man is accused of force feeding and throwing a seagull on Treasure Island Beach. You eat the food. I bet you he was trying to feed it an Alka-Seltzer. He probably heard that if a seagull eats an Alka-Seltzer, it'll blow up. I've tried that. It doesn't work. Even if you wrap it in food, they won't eat the Alka-Seltzer. And if you can get them to eat the Alka-Seltzer, they don't explode. That's not true. It's an urban legend. Force feeding and throwing a seagull. Multiple witnesses told responding deputies that Delvis Sanchez lured the seagull over with food before attacking it. The seagull was thrown around 20 feet in the air and was unable to fly and appeared to have broken wing, according to the arrest affidavit. Look at this jerk. This guy's a real jerk. This guy's a real jerk. This guy's a psycho. Seagull murderer. He's been charged with animal cruelty. Wow. This guy's a real jerk. Don't touch it. It was $20 last week. $3,000 on Amazon for this book now. Oh, you got a valuable book. Okay. Last story. This kind of ties in with the one we were showing earlier of Zelensky dancing, looking like a woman. This is gross, but you guys got to watch it. You ready? This is a Minnesota Vikings new cheerleader. Not her. Him. What? Yeah. Minnesota Vikings have hired 2 male cheerleaders. Now, they're not the stunt team. The Ravens have had male cheerleaders for decades, but the men on the cheerleading squad are just the stunt team. They're just the guys that throw the girls really high in the air. They're not out there dancing and shaking their butts. They just throw chicks around. But these guys are basically doing the same thing the women do.
The Minnesota Vikings getting ready to tackle their rivals as the NFL season approaches.
You better not tackle nothing.
But the team, now playing defense after announcing 2 new members of its cheerleading squad, are men. Blaze and Louie earning spots after a rigorous audition process.
Blaze? Oh my God. That's so gay. His name is Blaze. Blaze and Louie.
I went to a lot of Vikings games with my family, mainly my dad. Was definitely watching cheerleaders thinking like, I wish I could do that. Being that role model for other little kids who don't know that this is an option.
But the inclusion of the 2 men on the 35-person cheer roster has some calling to boycott the team, with replies to the Vikings.
The disrespected trucker. Boycott the team.
Instagram post reading, "I'm not a Viking fan no more," and "I just lost all
I'm not a Viking fan no more.
my respect for the Vikings." Across social media, far-right accounts latching on to the backlash, and even a former player blatantly hateful, Antonio Brown.
Blatantly hateful. He called him a F slur.
Currently wanted by police for attempted murder, which he denies, calling Blaze a homophobic slur. Plenty of others defending the cheerleaders, writing, "They were incredible and deserve their spot as a part of the squad." The Vikings telling NBC News, so far, no fans have canceled their season tickets, and writing, quote, "Male cheerleaders have been part of previous Vikings teams and have long been associated."
Yeah, they're the stunt team. All they do is throw the chicks around. They're not out there shaking pom-poms and waving their non-existent breasticles. This is ridiculous. Far right, they say it's, yeah, I was going to point that out. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, many far right posts have been made saying that this is gay. Gay.
Why are you gay?
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you.
That means
you're gay.
With collegiate and professional cheerleading, we support all of our cheerleaders and are proud of the role they play as ambassadors of the organization. Efforts to reach the 2 male cheerleaders for comment were unsuccessful. Of course, cheerleading men is nothing new. There have been countless parodies like this classic Will Ferrell SNL skit.
Fix it up, break it down now.
Or the iconic teen drama Bring It On.
Spirit fingers.
These are spirit fingers.
But even former presidents George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Dwight Eisenhower were cheerleaders, and many consider men a vital part of the squad. The Vikings point out a third of NFL teams have male cheerleaders. The league embracing other identities too.
Whoa! Whoa! Is that the Panthers? What the fuck is that? Okay, so this is not a new thing, but still, it's super gay. Super gay.
The Carolina Panthers, since 2022, have featured the first and only openly transgender cheerleader in the NFL. It's also not the first time the sideline.
Transgender cheerleaders on the Panthers. Wow. Wow. 2 mentals don't make a non-mental.
2 mentals don't make a non-mental.
have stolen center stage. Pay and fair treatment of NFL cheerleading squads, a long-running controversy.
1, 2, 3, and
The
4,
Dallas
5.
Cowboys cheerleaders recently scoring a 400% pay increase after they became an internet sensation following the Netflix docuseries America's Sweethearts. Some teams rebranding. The Washington Commanders going.
Oh my God. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders got good genes. These other weirdos do not.
With a fully co-ed dance squad, while others, like the New York Jets, losing its flight crew altogether since 2022. But now the Vikings backing up its cheer team and shaking up the routine.
So gay.
The Viking Adrian Broaddus is joining us now. Adrian, it's the Vikings who are in the spotlight now, but it's not like other teams aren't in similar situations and have similar teams.
No, that's right. And surprisingly, today, the Baltimore Ravens getting some backlash online, too, after announcing their squad for 2025. And if you take a look on the left side of your screen. By our count, there are 19 men. But here's the deal. The Ravens aren't new to this. They have the longest co-ed squad in the NFL that's tenured. So their cheerleading team is made up of a dance squad as well as a stunt team. And if you look closely, you'll notice on some of the shirts there, the polo shirts that the men are wearing, it says stunt team, Hallie.
Adrian.
So they're not dancing. Their job is to throw a woman as far as they possibly can. That's kind of based, you know? I think there's something to that. I like that. Just chucking women into the sky. The only problem is they catch them. But, you know, look, is that Michael Jordan? But they're not on the dance team. The Vikings are the Panthers have a trans ball alopecia looking black neighbor on their dance team. And now the Vikings have two dudes, Blaze and Louie, dancing with pom-poms. That's gay. I don't mind seeing a guy launch a woman 50 feet into the sky.
Adrian Broaddus, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
We thank you for watching.
Anyway, that's it. That's all the news I got for you this week. No special segment at the end of the show. There is something I got to look into that we're going to talk about eventually. I heard about. I can't remember what I was watching, and they mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I want to look into that." Jekyll Island. Have you guys ever heard of Jekyll Island? I can't even remember what it is. I just wrote it in my notes in my phone as something to. Jekyll Island, Georgia. Jekyll Island, known as Driftwood Beach and historic Georgia Sea Turtle Center, Jekyll Island. Island also has boats, blah, blah, blah. What happened on Jekyll Island? A group of powerful American financiers and politicians held a secret meeting that led to the drafting of the legislation that would become the Federal Reserve System. Yeah, that's what I wanted to look into. The secret meeting on Jekyll Island. One day we'll talk about that in the future, but I got to research first. I got to learn more about it. I just heard it in a video in passing, and I was like, secret meeting on Jekyll Island? I never heard of this. Let me look into this. So one day we'll talk about that. But for now, I've got to go to work. I don't have time to talk more about it now, but in the future, we'll cover Jekyll Island in the secret meeting. NFL is gay anyway and un-American. Yeah, I don't watch sports ball. The only sport I watch is when men are punching each other in the face. When are we going to stop paying income tax to pay for World War I? Never. It's never going to happen. But anyway, I got to go, guys. Where are we rating to? Who's live? JP Uncut's live. Muslims and non-Trinity debates. Mod Monday. Does Christianity something? Oh, open panel and TikTok purge. Easy's back. And he's live right now. Let's go. I'll send you over there. He's been going since 8:30. All right, we'll send you over there. Thank you guys for hanging out. Kisses? Dean, what the heck? You're in timeout. You're in timeout for gayness for 1 minute. Confirm. Dean's in timeout for 1 minute. Don't ever blow kisses at me. Don't do the heart hands either. You're in timeout for a minute too. I can't stand the heart hands. Also, they don't do it like this anymore. They do it like this now. They're throwing up the folks. They're throwing up they're throwing the folks down. Don't do that in Chicago. You're going to get shot by a dang GD. Nope. You get a minute timeout for doing heart hands. I do not approve of heart hands. 1 minute timeout for if it all fails. All right, guys. Thank you. Look at now, all the chat's gone. There's no chats because it's just Dean and if it all fails in there. All right, put some chairs in Easy's chat when we get there. Thank you guys for watching. God bless everybody. Whoever sent the $2 super chat, thank you. Chuck Danger, appreciate it. God bless you guys. We out. Peace. Where's my explosion? Later.